and welcome to Let's Talk About Me podcast. I think I'm now rolling on episode 5, and I'm joined by Jack Macphee. At last, Ricky's been at me for so long to get you on the podcast. He's nagged me like an old wife. But yeah, we're doing it. We're getting it done. Before we get into the chat, let's do the boring stuff. Let's do the socials. You can email me on official let's talk about me at gmail.com. I'm on Instagram on Let's Talk About Me 1. I'm also on the TikTok at Let's Talk About Me 6. And of course, do the usual YouTube bullshit. Like, share, subscribe, all that rubbish. Ugh. So let's get started and let's get rolling, because I've been quite excited to do this with you, Jack.
That makes me nervous.
I've been nervous too, because it's one of the things where when we're left alone to chat, we rarely chat PG.
But this show's not PG.
No.
Okay.
Fuck no.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so
anything and everything goes.
naughty words are allowed.
The only thing that the only rule is we stop when you say we stop. If you don't want to talk about something, you say nah, that's good. We'll move on from there. So I won't bring up all your dirty closet secrets and things.
Oh, thank you very much.
So yeah, I'm going to start the podcast the way I always start the podcast, when I like seeing the fear in my guest eyes, because it's the worst question anyone can ask you. Jack Macphee, who the fuck are you?
I'm your childhood chum.
You are, strangely.
Yes.
You are, strangely.
I am. I'm your childhood chum. I'd say out of the guests you've had so far, maybe I've known you the longest. Would that be fair?
Yes, and you know what's really fucked up? You are actually the only person I speak to from my childhood.
I'm a good guy.
I've never realised that before. It's literally just dawned on me. You out of everyone, and I mean like even further back from before when I met you, I don't speak to anyone on a regular basis. Wow.
Life moves, man.
I mean, if you leave with that as a trophy, I mean, that's an achievement, Jack.
For whose part? My part or your part?
Yours, of course.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanking you very much. Yeah, childhood chum.
Yeah.
Met in primary school.
Mm-hmm.
Met again in high school. Kind of.
Yeah, we crossed.
I think
you'd
kind of more or less left.
I dropped out.
Yeah.
So I wasn't there for long.
Nah. But we were reconnected through music.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, duh.
I thought that would have been point number 1.
Oh God! Look, I'm old now, and I forget. The timeline gets really hazy now. It's not an easy one to follow. So we'll tell you what then, right? Since we've just gone there, we've got that little tidbit here. We'll get more out of you yet. I'll get it at you. We'll go back a bit. So yeah, we first met in primary school, Pennyland. Now, mathematically, I'm terrible at, but you must have been P3, P4.
Yeah, more. Yeah, I would say so. Primary 3, primary 4, because I think the first primaries were, I hate to say segregated, but you know how they had their own playground,
they couldn't blend with us.
Yeah, so they like primary 1, primary 2 had their own playground. So it must have been like 3, 4 onwards.
I think you were 3.
Yeah,
I think when I first met you were in P3, because I moved away at the start of P5 from Mount Pleasant. I went down to GOLSPIE, had an awful time.
You go to GOLSPIE?
I did. I moved to GOLSPIE. It was awful. It was terrible. I got thrown down a 70-foot hill made of gravel. It was not good times. You know what it is, the outsider, new kid. It was GOLSPIE school was a strange school though. Yeah, the older I am now, the more I realise how strange that school was. So I don't know how many schools are in GOLSPIE. I think there's only the one. Obviously it's a long time ago, so I'm not getting anyone in trouble. Schools were different back then, back in the Stone Age. But the one thing I always remember about GOLSPIE school is it's on top of a hill.
Said 70-foot hill.
Yeah, but right. It is. I don't know, like maybe they've built around it now, but back then it was a construction-made pit all around it, and it was just one massive road hill that took you up to the school.
All right.
And the school was multiple buildings. Shockingly, if you think Caithness schools were old school, this thing was fucking draconian.
Right. Okay.
And it was all like different buildings, and there was even a different building to have like what you would call your canteen. It was wooden. It was wooden floor, wooden walls. It was massive. I mean, lucky it wasn't like Wizard of Oz, because this bitch would have lifted by wind. Like, then directly connected to it was a graveyard.
Oh.
Like, it was all together on this big hill. So I was not greeted warmly. I just got thrown into school and I wasn't integrated into it, and it was just weird because immediately it was so different from Mount Pleasant. Like, we didn't do religious stuff.
Yeah,
they did. It was like Lord's Prayer in the morning.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and this boy don't sing Lord's Prayer.
Not just like your hymns at your
no,
assembly.
Stand attention that day, stand up straight.
Wow.
Repeat the Lord's Prayer. That was the first thing that was given to me. It was a piece of paper to memorize that. And of course, Dave being Dave, I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, I can fucking memorize that. No, even then I was like, hey, you believe in whatever you believe in as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else.
I agree.
But immediately, even at a very young age, I was very well aware. Again, I think it's autism. It gives you that black and white logic. I'm like, you're not indoctrinating my ass. It's like, I don't believe in it, so you're not forcing me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that immediately made the battle axe a teacher hate me. And then the education there was really strange. It was all activity sheets, which has been proven to be the worst way to learn. It's like in the morning you'd get paper sheets where your times table, do that.
Mm-hmm.
Paper sheets where your basic words, do that. The lunch, come back, read it of a book in front of the whole bloody class. You know that.
Oh, I hate
Jonathan, you do a paragraph.
Yeah.
Richard, you do.
Did they speak like that in GOLSPIE? Did they?
David, you do a paragraph. What? Where am I? And yeah, and then it would be something different every day, and it just went from that. And then I just didn't make friends in that, and there were some mean kids in that school, some mean kids, and yeah, they just one day decided to toss my ass down that hill, and yeah, I got shredded the fuck up.
What's that? Well, you said gravel, right?
Yeah, it was just rock and gravel, and like obviously because it was where the construction had built and pushed everything up. But yeah, it sucked. I didn't even climb back up the hill. I went straight home.
Kids can be savage.
Oh yeah. Again, though, I mean, I don't forgive anyone that did it to me and that, but again, it's that weird, it's autism bit. People pick up on it. They subconsciously like there's something different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously, some people with neurodivergent can pick up, like, they obviously are different.
Yeah.
But I think society-wise, in friend groups, or even just trying to integrate with a group, they kind of pick up going, he's all right. But there's something.
He's different.
Something. So yeah, I got thrown down that. And then I came back up Pennyland, and that's when I lived out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere in Force. And I
didn't know you lived in Force either.
Yeah.
In fact, because you were in just around the corner when we reconnected musically.
I was living at my dad's when we started that. But yeah, I was in Force.
Oh.
And
I'm learning things on this podcast.
I know, it's to learn about Davecast. Ricky learned too much. Drawers fell. But yeah, I remember Force. I mean, Force was awful as well. It was not good. I did not have good times. But I remember quite vividly being on the playground, and I didn't really. I didn't have a social group back then either. I didn't really integrate with much folk. I would run about.
Mm-hmm.
I think I kind of hung about. I wasn't pally, but I hung about with. Do you remember Kenny? Kenny husband.
Yes.
Right. I remember. I hanged about with him.
I didn't know him, but I remember. Yeah, I know the name.
Yeah. I don't even know where he is now. So, he betrayed me. So.
He's dead to me.
He's dead to me. I was dead to him, apparently.
Oh.
But yeah, so I remember that. I was hanging about that, and then I still have this vivid memory of wee baby Jack, of you running up to me and speaking to me, and I think it's a question that I've always wanted to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
And then in normal situations, you wouldn't get a chance to ask that. But, you know, being in an awkward, enclosed room in a podcast with a camera that everyone's going to fucking watch.
Yeah.
Sorry, all 8 people are going to watch. Right?
You're in double digits in your subscribers.
I getting there. I said 39 for a while, and I'm like, come on, 40. But yeah, what on earth made little wee baby Jack come up and speak to me? Because that's what happened. You just randomly came up and spoke to me.
Yeah.
And I was an older kid.
I think it probably stems from being around, as we say, different people growing up. Like, growing up, my mum has a disability.
Yeah.
So disability's never been not the norm to me. It's been the norm. And I think that's where that comes from. I saw a kid who was on his own. And I think, and it's something I still do to this day. I feel people's feelings too hard sometimes.
Yeah.
I can automatically put myself in someone else's shoes and try and sympathize, probably to my own detriment. And
Not a bad thing.
And no, it's not. I mean, it's just in my DNA at this point. But I think, yeah, that's probably where it came from. As you say, like, people can spot there's a difference.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I probably spotted there's a difference, but I didn't like the fact that you were on your own.
That's a really nice way of putting it. That was just a petty talk.
No, definitely not. I think that's definitely where it came from. I didn't like because I always feared not having friends. Like I mean, I've always been blessed with friends, but I always, you see the kid who is on his own, and I immediately would go to be the problem solver in that. It's like, well, I can make a difference there. I'll change that. So I've plus one'd him. He's got apparently.
Tick.
Yeah, and that's where it came from.
Dear Lord, I've done my good
Yeah.
deed today.
Give me my good juju.
Please, my Pokemon cards.
Give me a shiny.
What? No Charizard?
I never had a Charizard in all my time. I had a few shinies, but I never
Never got any Pokemon.
No.
And it's yeah, everyone does the same reaction.
I would strike me as something you'd be right into.
Nah, I think the problem with the Pokemon thing with me was that I was shown the fucked up shit first.
Right, okay.
I was shown the mangas first.
Yeah.
And then when Pokemon, I still remember when it was a big deal. It was either Fox Kids or Live and Kicking. They were like, we're going to show the first ever episode of Pokemon on British television. I watched it and I was like, where's the blood? Where's the guts? There was no boobies.
No, no, just little lines.
Yeah,
that's all you. Not even like the 2D Lara Croft.
Nah, polygons.
Chabaronis.
Polygon chabaronis.
Yeah.
Triangles from heaven. Yeah, no, I think it's just because I was shown that kind of stuff. Like my, not in a bad way. Like my granddad used to babysit me, and it only used to air. Back in the 90s, you'd get maybe an anime movie that would be on the Sci-Fi Channel, and this is before it was rebooted. Before it was popular, it was like really fucked. Sci-Fi Channel was fucked up.
Yeah, my dad used to watch Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah. It was a cool channel. Yeah. It was a mix of like sci-fi and horror. But yeah, my granddad showed me. I didn't know what it was at the time, and I seen like 2 episodes of it when he's babysitting me one night. 3 by 3 eyes. 3x3 it's usually called. I've only ever seen that 2 episodes.
Okay.
Maybe 3 at a push. There's one thing I clicked when it. First of all, it was hella gory. I'd never seen a cartoon like it.
Right.
And it was I can't remember the story. I think I've kind of like picked bits up over the years. I think the idea is that the girl in it who's got a third eye, 3 by 3 eyes, typical Japanese long lost space princess sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't know. And then this dude, fellow teenager boy, he knows, and he's been tasked with getting her or something. And I don't know if he's cursed. I don't know if it's something in his biology, but he's immortal. And all I can remember from that 3 episodes is how fucked up he gets. Like, the whole thing is like, right, story, boss fight. See how much we can fuck up this guy. And it was horrendous.
And that's what drew you in.
Yeah, it was. But I think it's the character. Like I like the fact that he took all that and kept going.
Mm.
Maybe there was a psychological bit to it.
Well, you kind of gravitate toward a dark character, given where maybe your character is now with Combat League.
We'll get into that later. But yes. But yeah, so going back again, so you saw that I was lonely in that.
Yeah.
Which again, you've got a positive because I can confirm to you that it did make a huge difference to me. It did. And it's something, even when we reconnected later, that it's a core thing that's going to stay with me because I think it could have gone quite differently if you hadn't. Because I was really lonely because I had just moved to that school. I didn't know Marsh from my elbow. Home life wasn't great. I was moving houses like everywhere all the time. And just I think having this little kid come up to me and go, hey. And then it was never like we wouldn't like hang out for long because recess was like what 15 minutes and then lunch was like 20.
Playtime.
Yeah. So I see that's my Americanized bit. No, recess and lunchtime. See, this is why I didn't have any friends. Fuck you talking about?
You said recess.
It's a garage, no a garage.
Recess is a good cartoon.
Tinder. Recess is like one of my all-time favorites. Susan as well. Before I met Susan, she loved Recess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. She's mentioned to me as well. The Weekenders. Living for the weekend. There's a kid that looks like me right now. He always has the Hawaiian shirts.
Okay.
And then there's the token black sporty kid. And then the sassy red-haired girl. I think she was red-haired.
That does ring a bell.
It was Weekenders, Pepper Ann, Recess. Pepper Ann I can't find. Disney Plus, get Pepper Ann back up. Pepper Ann, you know remember Pepper Ann?
I can't think. Pepper.
Long. She was really nerdy. Like she had like glasses and she just had pigtails and long ginger hair.
It just makes it when you say that all I can think picture is Pippi Longstocking.
It's like took Pippi Longstocking and made her like 2000s.
Oh, right, okay.
It was basically that.
Yeah.
And the theme tune was the voice actress singing it, and the voice actress had like a really groggy.
Smoke Drift
And
Daddy.
it was literally like it was just like Pepper Ann, Pepper Ann, Pepper Ann. She's like 1 in a million. It was fucking awful. But yeah, but no, it made a huge difference to me, Jack. And then I would see you nearly like every day, back and forth every day, and I was like, who is this little kid, And I do have a confession to make because the first thing I thought when you walked up to me, I was like, damn ears.
I grew into these ears.
You did. You had big ears when you were younger.
I grew into these.
But here's Jack going, oh, look at this lonely kid over here. I can make a difference. And I'm like, all right, Dumbo. I did not deserve that chat, Jack.
Well, there's the perspective I never had back then. How things could have played differently.
Well, maybe you just couldn't see you when the wind was going a certain direction.
No. I should have picked something up on the radars.
Fuck you, Dave. Yeah. No, I always remember little Jack. Quite often, like when we have discussions, things, or Corvin's asking me about like when I was in school when I was younger, I do mention. I was like, yeah, Jack used to come up and speak to me all the time. Because he asks about you at the shows as well, because he watches everything.
He's taking it all.
Yeah, he takes it all. He's like, how do you know Jack? You seem to know Jack quite well. And I was like, yeah, well, since we haven't always like hung out and stuff. I goes, we haven't like been best buds or anything, but I says we've known each other from like every stage of our lives. That's the weird thing. Every stage of our lives, we've somehow
come back.
It's
like drawing us together.
It's
the Force, baby.
I mean, just imagine what would happen if we finally did it. Sorry.
I know you said we could swear on this podcast, but I think YouTube guidelines might state otherwise.
Well, hold on. There is another link for the, a subscription for so many months. I forgot to turn the damn screensaver off again.
Only Hobbs.
Only Hobbs. Only Hobbs. Oh no, that drags the family into it. It's got to be a pseudonym. Arkham's arse. I don't know. Arkham's arse.
There's your next T-shirt.
So then I went off to the Underlands. I can't remember. I think I obviously left primary school before you.
Yeah.
So how they're right. So obviously this is now getting back to high school
Mhm.
because that's when we saw each other again.
Yeah.
So you tell me, how did we reconnect in high school?
Through Joe Patterson. That's where it came full circle again. So I would have been first or second year, 11, 12. Yeah, I would have been 12
Yeah.
because we played my first gig. I was 12, the one we did in the Redwood, which is now Why Not.
That was not your first gig.
That was my first ever gig.
I was not part of your first gig.
You were?
No.
You, me, and Joe.
No.
That was my first ever gig.
Jesus.
I gigged in a pub before I gigged in high school.
Cadence, baby.
Yeah. So yeah, a few of the boys where I grew up. I grew up in Glengolly, just a mile or two outside of Thurso, and there was a good community of kids at a similar age. And we started attending the local youth club on, like, say, a Wednesday or whatever it was.
I'm gonna be annoying. Pointing that a little bit more to your face. There we go.
I just turned up. I turned it off.
Yeah, you're back on now though.
Reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we started going to the youth club. You know, we played pool. Like, I just spend all the time on the pool table because I was basically dragged up in the V-Firth of my dad, who was a snooker player. It's not where his nickname Snook came from. Funnily enough, everyone thinks it, I mean, it would make sense if it did, but it didn't. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, so I started attending the youth club, and then one day I attended, and I heard some guitar and bass like being played really loud upstairs, and Sarah Kogel, she was one of the workers there.
I know the name.
Yeah,
I know the name.
she used to be one of the barmaids in the Newmarket back in the day, and then she was down at Popeyes for a while.
Oh, I mean this respectfully, Big Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I mean that respectfully. Like, she was like, looked like she could beat me up.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't tall.
No, but she's like.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen her chuck people out of pubs before.
Yeah, well, that's why. Like, she gave me the fear.
Shout out, Sarah.
Yeah. I remember. It's funny. She won't have a clue who I am, but I remember Sarah because my grandparents, rest their souls. Sorry, that was an echolalia. Sorry. They lived in Spring Park originally, and I believe when Sarah was very, very little, she either lived there or had something to do with the house on the corner. So I remember seeing, and it's just one of the things, you know, when you recognize, you don't know, you don't speak to them, but you're like, I know you when you were little.
Yeah.
But so Sarah was in the...
So Sarah was in the youth club. She was one of, like, the workers there. And she knew me through my cousin David Horn, who got me into playing drums. He gave me my first 2 drum lessons because he played drums, so obviously I wanted to play drums because he was cool. Okay. You know, he had the blue suede sambas all the time. I wanted blue suede samba. You know, you just wanted to be. You know, everyone had a hero.
It was your little.
He was my hero.
Your idol. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. I said to Sarah, I said, "What's going on upstairs?" She's like, "Oh, some boys playing some music and stuff. You're David's cousin. There's a drum kit up there." I was like, "Wow, So she took me up, and Joe was playing, and Michael Craig was playing.
This is Glengolly Youth Club?
No, the Youth Club in Thurso.
Oh, in Thurso, okay, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was a drum kit, and Joe was just like, can you play drums? And I'm like, a wee bit, yeah. So I had my first ever jam there in that room, which I think is like the room that they use for being like a hostel, or maybe they used to back then, because there was beds in the corners.
It's all like renovated now. To be fair, I've never stepped foot in the Thurso Youth Club until Christmas 2 years ago with Corbin. I've never been inside it.
Excuse me. So yeah, so I had my first jam there, and that's how I got connected with Joe. Because immediately Joe was like, "We should do this again," and I was buzzing. Like, I went home like high as a kite.
I'm a motherfucking rock star.
I was just like, it's the best thing I've ever experienced in my life. Like, I'd been playing drums since tail end of Primary 7. I started playing, got my first kit then, but it was the first time I played with people.
And that's a big step.
Oh, it's massive.
Like, it's huge when you just have that like first any interaction, and then when you realize when it all sort of like starts coming together.
Yeah, I mean, we were probably awful, but I remember it. I remember like we played Hey Joe Jimi Hendrix like over and over and over. It was great fun. So yeah, so the youth club thing became like, oh well, this is my old jam. So then I got connected with Joe, and Joe, after a while, had said, "I have this band, and I think that they did have a drummer, but they weren't happy with the drummer, and he was like, do you want to give it a go?" I was like, hell yeah. I'm all about it. Like music was, cause I was like really sporty as a kid. I was into athletics. I did karate from the age of 4. But then like music came in, it just slowly started to take over everything.
You
I
right
just
now.
dropped everything and just dedicated myself to that. So yeah, that's how that came about.
I'll tell you what, the other band, because that's really weird. Because Joe wasn't involved with me though, was he?
Mhm.
Right, because this
We
is
reconnected because of Joe.
yeah, but this is where it gets hazy. Is that original band, right? That original band didn't exist. It was something that I ended up getting pulled into for no reason, with no jam session, no discussion of anything. It was for Battle of the Bands. It was the original. I don't know if we did the Battle of the Bands that year as what was coming.
Like with me.
Yeah.
No, I never did a battle of bands with you.
So right, that's where it came from. Right. So I ended up getting pulled into.
I seen that. I was at that battle of the
Right.
bands
I'm there now.
because you did a Stained cover
I did.
for you. Is it
I
called?
did. I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first time I. Right. So here's the shocking thing with that,
Shocking, I remember.
and
that.
it's probably a reason for a lot of my trauma in high school. That was the first time I ever sung in front of people.
On stage. That's a hell of an
Um,
initiation.
I didn't even do rehearsals. I just turned
Got-
up and did it.
Awesome.
No.
well,
I think I had like one rehearsal out and done it. But that band was
Dan was on the bass.
yeah, and again, I don't know how I got pulled into this because Dan, I think I could be wrong here, but Dan, and I think the guy was Stuart something or other on the drums.
I can't remember who played drums for you.
He used to live at Dunnet. I think his dad used to own Dunnet Hotel or something because that's where we were going to rehearse was the back of it.
All right.
Only memory I have of that was that like I never knew him well. I didn't know any of them well, but I remember going to Stuart and he's like, "Oh yeah, I just need to get something in my room." And then we remember the door swinging open and the room was completely caked in Terry Runnels posters, and I was just like, "All right,
All
all
right.
right." I was like, "Oh, that's what you, yeah, that's what you never said anything, but yeah, and all I remember is that we had awful rehearsals because the guitarist couldn't play guitar.
So there was another guitarist.
There was, and it was one of my. So it's probably what I would say is my only neighborhood friend. So you know when you go, as you say in Glengoyle, you had a community of kids, right?
Yeah,
Well, in Spring Park, in the area where I originally grew up, there was obviously a bunch of us, and you just gravitate. I wouldn't say I connected with any of them, but like I used to go to like Andy McLeod's birthday parties.
Yeah.
Could tell you some stories about one of them.
You need to get him on here.
It'd be funny.
He'd be down for it. I bet he
won't
would.
fit him in the screen.
No, he'd be up there.
Yeah. But yeah, I used to go to Andy McLeod's birthday parties. And I used to like every so often go around to his house, and I have vivid memories of playing with Action Men in the bathtub, and he had a zip line. I just remember it was the coolest fucking thing ever that he had a zip line for his Action Men across the shower to the fucking wall. and I
Nice.
still remember it. And there was another kid just around the corner called Andrew Brahms.
That's not a name I think.
And we always used to call him Brahms.
Excuse me.
Yeah, well, this is the weird thing. There is a weird story to Andrew Brahms. So he was. I'd be fair in saying he was a weird kid. You know, he was funny though,
Mhm.
and I gravitated towards him. And he was part of like the community of that kids. You know, we always used to meet up in the park for football, or or beating the shit out of each other, whatever we were doing. And in high school, groups change. You know, Andy became punk rock superstar. Brahms kind of like became the stoner kid, like a really bad stoner kid. Like he kind of like fell off a bit.
Right.
and I just became the weirdo that no one spoke to. Full circle, baby. But the weird thing about Brahms is there's no, to my knowledge, I haven't checked in the last couple of years. It's one of the things that bugs me because I'm kind of like,
What happened to
what's
it?
he doing now?
Yeah.
Let's be nosy. Let's have a go, right? I know his sister. She had quite a hard time in her teens as well. She got a bit thingy with, booze and stuff locally, and that's what happens in Caithness. You get sucked into that. But all I know is the last I remember is that his sister moved to Australia and she's married with kids.
It's not even a name I recall, Brahms.
But Brahms, Andrew Brahms, disappeared off the face of the earth.
Right.
He has no Facebook.
See, that's the only, in this day and age, I think that's the only positive to social media is reconnecting.
Yeah.
Or just,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they call it the Facebook creep.
The only thing I can find about it, right, and I don't think I can find it now, was a news article for a paper in the middle of nowhere about an offshore oil rig, about something else bad happening on it, and they interviewed Andrew Brahms on the rig, and it's him.
That's wild.
But there's nothing else. It's just weird. It's one of the things where I'm like, what are we doing, man? Let me know.
The curiosity is itching my brain.
But yeah, Brahms was the guitarist that couldn't play guitar because he was shit. He told us he could play anything, right? And then for some reason, I don't know why I agreed to this. Like, they're like, oh, we should do System of a Down. Right, okay. Practiced it in my room. It was not good. Not good. Dave can't do System of a Down. I certainly couldn't do it then. And then we went out to this thingy. I was in a fog most of the time, just wandering about, like glaking eyes. And we went into the back hall. The drum kit was set up. Dan, I think, was there because he was the bassist, and it just came together. I didn't know him. He was just there.
Yeah.
And then fucking the fucking drum beat counts in. Stuart's like, off we go, and he's hitting the beat. He was a really good drummer. He was hitting the fucking beat, and I don't know what came out of that guitar, but it wasn't the song. And he's sitting there, and he came in with tab,
Yeah.
And all I remember is,
so he had the look.
like, it was this, the face.
So he had all the enthusiasm and none of the talent.
The hands weren't doing what the eyes were seeing, and it was. Honestly,
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Oh no, honestly, it was like, it's not that it was bad. It was like something out of a comedy movie, man. It was literally like blank, 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 blank.
But he was dead serious.
None of those notes.
Gotta love it.
I don't even think he was in the right key. I don't think he knew what a key was.
So
I still don't know what a fucking key is, but his tuning on his guitar,
yeah,
I guarantee it was like standard C, and it's System of a Down. It must have been like drop something or other.
It would have been low.
And it wasn't, and it was awful. And we had that one session, and we were like, this ain't gonna fucking work. So then we did it again.
Oh, you give him another chance.
We changed it to a Papa Roach song.
Okay.
Again, Dave can't do Papa Roach. And yeah, thankfully, that 2 sessions that we had, I didn't get to sing because we never got past the opening drum rolls.
Oh, wow.
It was that bad.
That's
yeah, so we went for
something.
that. And that's where the Joe thing comes in, is that kind of like hovered and fell apart. And then I got sucked into this other one, and I don't even know what the guy's name was. He was an older kid. I didn't know who he was, and he just looked at me like, "Can you sing?" And I went, "Ba ba 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 ba." Right, you're in. I'm like, "Ba ba 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 ba." That was it. And then it was like, "Right, you play drums, don't you, Stuart?" I think like he was really intimidating. He was like, "Do you play drums?" Yeah. Right,
You don't remember this?
band.
You don't remember this guy's name?
No, I want to say. Oh, I just remember like. It sounds rude. I don't know names, but I just remember descriptive features. He had very big lips. Very big lips. Shaved head. I think he was ginger. And all I could remember was like really purple lips. I kind of want to say that maybe was it Powell or something.
Robbie. Did he not end up being a drummer, that guy?
I don't know. No.
Robbie Powell.
No.
Is dad a teacher?
I don't know if he was related to that Powell.
All right. I don't really know that guy, but I know it's because I attended all the battle bands as a kid.
I think it is like.
I'm sure he was a drummer.
He wasn't for that one. I don't think.
Right.
But maybe he was. To be honest with you, Jack, that conversation in front of that radiator in front of Gym 2, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was literally just like, huh?
That was your audition for the band.
Yeah, and like it was me the whole time though, and I didn't know what was happening around me. And it's like, oh, okay, we're doing this, and then no rehearsals happened for that, no set list. All I remember was getting told one day, "Oh, we're taking photos up in the art department because that's where you had to get your photos done for the
With Fergus, with Mr. Mather.
And I was like, be there Thursday. Yeah, I wasn't there on Thursday.
Oh mercy!
And then it's like, right, boys, we picked the name for a band, which means he picked it, I think, and it was.
Go on, what was it?
It was Purple-Headed Yogurt Slingers. It's penis, Jack. It's penis. Purple-Headed Yogurt Slinger. That was my reaction. I was like, yeah, I need to get the fuck out of this.
Well, I mean, I've been in some questionable name bands, so I can't, or bands that sing about questionable things, so I can't.
And then I don't know how.
Shit on it.
I think the drummer knew Joe.
Right.
And then we had one or two, I think, mess abouts, and we were going to do this. And then I believe I could be telling it wrong. I still have Stuart in my mind, and I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. And then that's when I remember that Joe played the guitar with his teeth, which was insane at the age he was at. I just remember, I'm like, my God. It's my fault he did it because he was like, I'm not doing it on stage. I'm like, you're fucking doing it. I goes, you are doing it. You need to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then we did that, and that band was I didn't name it. It was thankfully not Purple-Headed Yogurt Slingers. It was just a three. I don't think Dan was in it. I think it was literally just Joe, the drummer, and me.
No, Dan was definitely in the band that I saw you perform with Joe and Dan.
He was in it.
Yeah, because I remember Joe had a VHS tape of it.
Yeah, I got passed about.
Yeah, I remember seeing it like one day ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, right. So Dan was in it, and it was Flaming Buddhists.
Yes, it was
Flaming Buddhists. I got it right. Yeah, Flaming Buddhists. Yeah, Flaming Buddhists, and then it sounds really bad. This, it's not a good memory I have. And I don't know. It sounds weird to say it, and I don't want to take anything away from it. But so it was amazing. I had a good time. I don't remember how bad my singing was. But I don't think it was bad because everyone was surprised that I could pelt that out.
Yeah.
I don't think I was hitting all the right notes, but I mean, I was going for it with my hoodie that had an 8-ball on the chest with the flames coming out of it. I'm right, innit? Yes. And my poorly grown hair because I had curtains.
You had curtains.
I had curtains.
Yes, you did.
Yes, yeah, I remember now. And I remember pushing Joe to do the thing with the guitar and everything like that. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna have a good time. And Joe at that point was still like, you know how like the younger years are always like shoved aside.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not popular. I remember getting off stage and yeah, I got pushed it the fucking way.
People wanted to know who he was.
Yeah. And that hit me hard because it was the first time I had sung and I got a really good reaction for it.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, I didn't like, don't get me wrong, like I wasn't thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to be like super popular. Blah, blah, blah. But I thought like for a moment there was like this, a little bit of acceptance. And yeah, no, Joe completely, deservedly so, or completely like overshadowed me on it. But I just remember that fucking image coming off that stage and just everybody pushing me out the way, and it's just all like surrounded. But I was happy for him, really happy for him, and he deserved it because the boy was I don't know if he still plays guitar.
Not as much
because he was a prodigy. Like he was mental good for his age.
Oh yeah, he was ahead of the curve on everyone in the school.
Yeah, like his talent level at that point was like insane.
Yeah, he had a good musical knowledge as well. Like, well, he taught himself a lot, but yeah, because like he was a really good saxophone player.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember the time. Yeah, when he was on the saxophone taking a shit in the toilet. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Do you know Joe? Right? Do you know when we were in that band together? Right, which we'll get to. But do you know that Joe used to phone me randomly on my Nokia 2210? Right. Randomly taking a shit on the toilet.
Yeah.
Did he do it to you?
Oh yeah.
Why?
He would spend hours in there.
Yeah.
To be fair, and I still enjoy going to that bathroom today because I still go visit his parents. underfloor heating.
Oh yeah, I mind the underfloor heating.
Yeah, underfloor
Oh,
heating in the
yeah.
bathroom. So he would sit there for
I mind his
hours.
library too.
Yeah, it's on the windowsill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hanging on the books.
Yeah.
But he'd always phone me, and there was one time he phoned me, and I'm not joking. I still can't believe this. He's like, "All right."
Was it eating on the toilet?
I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "Taking a shit." And then this is what I got for the next 5 minutes, and I'm a fucking idiot for staying on the line. Was just, I was like, Joe, what are you doing? Joe, and it'd be nothing, and then just randomly about the 4-minute mark, I'm getting really mad now, and I don't know why I just didn't hang up. I was like, Joe, what the fuck are you doing? Told you, I'm taking a shit. And then I was like, what are you eating? Bombay bad boy pot noodle. And then he fucking hung up on me.
Who takes a pot noodle to the toilet? That's amazing. He used to phone me, admittedly on the toilet, but he used to phone me if he had a cool idea for a guitar solo.
Oh yeah, alright, so you got the good shit.
No, because it's not like he would play the guitar solo. He would sing the guitar solo to me. And Joel didn't do anything slow. So
No.
he'd be on the phone going, I'd be like on the computer on my Nokia 3310, I think I had.
Oh, head of the curve, sir.
Like
Coloured pixels. Whoo!
on the MSN, and he'd be sitting there going, it goes like this. And I would like just have a phone and still hear him.
Just distant.
Yeah, I'd be like, sounds awesome, man. I can't wait to hear it on the guitar. not from your mouth. But yeah, no, me and Joe are still good buddies. Like, yeah, love him. Always have, always will.
Oh, yeah, he was cool. He was cool as fuck. He was a hell of a character when he was younger. He really was.
He still is.
Oh, well, I wouldn't know, Jack. I burned those bridges. But yeah, so massive 20-minute tangent, if not more. So shite Flaming Buddhist, and then Joe knew you from the youth club, and I think we just ended up reconnecting through a band.
He asked if I would come out to his house in Holkirk for a practice.
It's always quite an experience the first time when you realise, like, what a fucking nice house you have.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Basically, I call his parents my adopted parents because I basically grew up in that house.
Yeah.
But yeah, came out, and there you were.
Oh shit, for you. I think I do mind you walking in the door, like, it's Jack.
Yeah.
It's Jack.
My little spiked gel hair.
Oh yeah, you did have your emo hooky thing, like.
I had like twists and stuff. Yeah.
Because we were new metal kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only difference is that you still have hair, and I don't.
I mean, can't all be blessed.
Anyway, moving on.
But yeah, so we ended up in another band. What was the band called, Jack?
F.O.F.
And who came out with that name?
Definitely not me.
I don't want to take responsibility for it, but I've got a really weird feeling that it was me because it sounds very edgelord.
It sounds very you. I'm pretty sure it was you.
And do you know what? I don't think much thought went into it either.
It lends itself to a gothy kind of, and you were quite gothy at that point.
I was, sadly. I was never full goth. I never went full goth.
Oh no.
I was very like.
Says me, who's wearing all black, and you're in all the colours today.
I know. Well, do you know what? That is because I think I would have been like this if I was younger. I think a lot of the black was like a shield.
A blend away
I
in the
think
shadows.
I think it was like, I don't even blend away in the shadows because it would make you a target. But I think it was just like, I think there is that edgelord bit where, you know, obviously if you're into the darker stuff or you feel like shit and you've had it hard, you do tend to lean towards.
Turn into a T-Rex.
What are you into?
Sad T-Rex.
Raise your hands. I can't. I'm a T-Rex. But yeah, like I remember that kind of stuff, and I was kind of like very. I was metal shirts I liked first, like Spiral was the brand. Used to have all like the Reapers and shit.
Yeah,
like that.
I remember. Yeah,
I had like a different one for every day of the week, and then it was more kind of like I was smart goth. I used to have my leather trousers.
Yeah, your leather. I remember them leather trousers and your boots.
They were so heavy.
Yeah, you heard you coming a mile away.
But yeah, so we were in Fear of Faith for 2 years.
2 years, I think. Yeah.
And it's weird because it feels longer to me. Like
Hmm.
it felt like a long period of time. And we were not taking our time with crafting stuff anyway.
No, as we say, we were shitting out the songs.
Oh, we were. It was like, oh, we've done another one. It's like, it's another one, boys.
It made the list.
There's another one, boys. Oh, wow. Right. Let's see how many we can get done next session.
Yeah, because it was every Saturday. Practice was like
Yeah.
religious.
Yeah, it was every Saturday.
Every Saturday out to Joe's.
And it was good fun. It was good fun. I remember the times when there were some sessions. It was less about the band stuff, and then we'd do stupid shit.
Out on the half pipe.
I'll get to that in a minute. I was going to start with the mini moto, but don't bring up the half-pipe, thank you. But yeah, there was the mini moto first, Jack.
I remember the mini motos.
We were in the garden. They were fun.
Yeah.
And
Joe is a biker to this day.
Is,
Yeah,
well, I
he's
thought
very
it would-
still very into his
I
bike.
thought it was obvious, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was in the blood. But yes, Joe had a insane full-size half pipe made of wood in his front garden.
He
Who built that?
He did.
Fuck off.
Him and Dunk did. Yeah. Duncan being his younger brother. Shout out Duncan.
Him and Duncan built that themselves.
Yeah.
How? Because it was structurally, no offense, but it was structurally sound.
It was good.
Solid.
Yeah, they made it. I think obviously Andrew, their dad, would have helped.
Yeah, but that's a hell of a project.
Yeah.
It was huge.
It was ace.
I might be remembering it slightly bigger than what it was, but
No, it was a fair size because then they added to it, so there was like 3 different drop-in points, each one higher as the next, from what I remember.
I remember 2 drop-in points.
Yeah.
Because I refused to go on the second one.
Because I remember, because their apple tree used to hang over it, and then at a certain time of year, the half pipe would be covered in apples.
Yes.
And then me and Joe would go and grab his dad's golf clubs. Go to town on them.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
That was good times.
Yeah, and of course, obviously, it's gonna pop up, but so I can't skateboard. I can't skateboard at all, can I, Jack?
No, David.
I
weren't the most graceful gazelle in the play park.
I couldn't stand on a skateboard. So can you try and tell my dotted head why the fuck I chose to go doing that half pipe 3 times?
You were. It was a premonition on how to take a bump.
There we go. Okay, it was the early days of fucking myself up.
Yeah, it's like I can deal with a certain amount of pain.
To be fair, I don't remember it being overtly painful.
I can't really describe it as a bump either, if
No.
we're talking in wrestling terms.
It was. I remember the one where I remember the one where I thought, right, okay, I didn't stick the landing or the start of it, but I kind of got the middle.
What, the falling part? The bit
Well,
in the
I
middle
did,
where you're
I did.
in the air.
Look, I vaguely, but clearly remember on the second attempt that my knees were bent. I got it. I struggled off.
Shuggled.
I didn't start well because I was like, oh god, no, I'm going to die. I remember those 4 wheels
There is 4 wheels on a skateboard.
touching. I was stuck on right. Touching the wood, right? And for a millisecond, I genuinely thought, oh my god, I've got it.
I'm Tony Hawk.
and then my right leg bent upward and went back the way, and my left leg with the skateboard left, and I basically did like fucking John Travolta splits.
You're lucky you weren't in your leather pants that day, that's all I'm saying.
I think bad things would have happened. Thankfully, there was some flexibility in the trousers. I remembered that one because I genuinely thought, I was like, I have fucked my knee. And I was just like, fine, boys, let's go again.
Yeah, hard as fuck.
Oh yeah. And yeah, I've never touched a skateboard ever again. I still get cold chills when I see them. But they were fun times. They were good. And we were doing. I remember we were doing F.O.F every Saturday. We did the drug tour for the schools.
Yep. The Ard Rock.
Was that what it was called? Ard Rock?
Ard Rock concert. Yeah. That's where I met Isaac for the first time. At an Ard Rock anti-drugs concert. Read into that what you will.
Well, to be fair, we were doing an anti-drugs concert, and the bassist.
Yeah.
The bassist had some vegetables in his.
He was experienced in the old disco cabbage at the time.
Disco.
Devil's lettuce, if you must.
It wasn't devil's lettuce. That's not what was in the back of that guitar.
Anyway.
It was other things. Nature. It was nature.
All natural.
It's all natural. But yeah, we did that, and then I remember the Wick one was a disaster because Joe decided to play one of the songs completely out of tune because he got really fucking lazy and was like, "I'm not retuning the guitar."
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Oh, it was fucking awful.
To be fair, that was very, very pre me ever touching a guitar. So
Yeah,
tuning wouldn't have meant
It was
anything
in
to me.
it was in the old Wick school.
I remember them. Yeah.
We did the first one fine, and
Yeah.
then we played the second one, and it was that one. Oh, I'm gonna do a Joe, but I can't remember the song. But it was like it always reminds me of the color blue because he put that the phase effect on the guitar, and it was like he was plucking through the chords.
Mm.
I think it's the one where for a while he was playing with the bow.
Yeah. Audio images.
Oh, fucking hell! I can't believe you can remember and name that stuff. Yeah, audio images. Yeah,
Because the chord structure of that, when I got into playing guitar, I started noodling on that. And
yeah.
I still do to this day if I have a delay pedal.
Oh my lord. Yeah, audio image. I totally forgot the name of the song. Wow, that's a flashback.
Yeah, because he brought the bow out for certain parts.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. And then that one in Wick, for some strange reason, he was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm not tuning this guitar. And he played the whole song out of tune, and it was so bad.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I do, because I was the one at the front, Jack. Being the drummer at the back was
I hadn't hit a massive growth spurt by that point, so I could hide.
Oh, the crowd was just... It was silent, and then the song ended, and there was, like, nothing. It was like...
Terrible.
And I cracked the joke, and I meant it as a joke, but I was just like, well, the guitarist decided to play that song out of tune, so let's move on to the next one.
Shot from the hip there.
And then we did that, and then I think...
I had a great time with that gig.
It was fun.
That was the first time I'd been introduced to Brill cream. Do you remember that stuff?
Yes, my granddad lived on it.
Yeah, Dan had it for his because he had really tight, twisty kind of spikes.
Yeah. Oh,
and
so
he saw the stuff I had, like a V.O.F.A.Y gel, and he's like, Jack, man, I need to educate you here. If you're going to do spikes, you got to do it right. He Brill cleaned my head to the high heavens. Like, I'm sure I slid off my pillow that night. Yeah.
If it worked for them in the 70s, it's going to work for you now.
Yeah.
See, when you put this in your hair, you can bathe in asbestos. It'll just slide off you. But yeah, we did that, and then we did a couple other things. We got thrown out of the Newmarket.
See, I don't remember that.
No?
I've heard you talk about that, and I don't think that included me.
Yeah, it did.
Seriously, because I remember not being able to go see my cousin David playing there because when I was a kid, that was a 21 bar.
No, you were there because before we went to the gig, we were in the car leaving Joe's, and I remember we were talking about Nickelback, Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting. It was blaring in the car, and you were like, yeah, and you were like, oh, I fucking love this tune. I just remember that. We did that gig, and it was Dan's mum's current boyfriend, and he was in the blues band, and we were in the middle of that. We got through, I think, a minute to a minute and a half of Prison. The song Prison.
I remember Prison, yeah.
And then we got tossed off. We were asked to stop. Isla came up and was like, I'm running the bar. I can't be having it.
Wow, I have no recollection of that whatsoever.
So, I remember after that, so all of us went to Dan's house.
I'd never been to Dan's house.
Maybe you went home. I think you were taken home.
Probably.
You were there.
I would have been 12.
You definitely didn't go back to Dan's house then.
No.
You definitely didn't go back to Dan's house.
I never saw Dan's house till much later.
Let me tell you my experience of walking into Dan's house in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, I mean, I did see it eventually.
The secret door.
Mm-hmm.
The door to his room. And the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Narnia.
I genuinely, like, at that point, I was not, I never have been involved with, like, recreational drugs or anything. I was never, like, heavy and things like that in my teens. Just again, I think it's a tism thing. And all I remember was going to dance, and I knew Dan. He enjoyed the Devil's Lettuce, you know. And I know his mum enjoyed the Devil's Lettuce, and I know that the blues band were definitely enjoying the Devil's Lettuce. And we walked in, and I just remember it was so fucking cold, so cold, because it was an old like cottage. And then I'm like, well, this is the living room. The kitchen's through there, you know. There's obviously like something there. And he's like, oh, we'll go to my room. I'm like, we're in the living room, dude. And they just opened the wall.
Yeah.
Like literally opened the wall. It was a secret door. I mean, it was a terrible secret door because you could see the peels in the wallpaper.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, all right, door, cool. And then I didn't actually step in because I think like, you know, like the nerdy kid that ends up in a situation that he shouldn't be in. That's what I turned into at that point. Like I could play that as I was cool as fuck, man. Lead singer of a band that just got thrown off for being too fucking hardcore. That door swung open and I saw those shelves filled with every size, shape, and bong. And I immediately was like, I'm out of my fucking depth right now. This is not my world.
What's a lovely vase you have there.
Where are the flowers? Why are you burning those flowers? So yeah, of course, you know, being a teenager and that, we ended up, well, I say partaking, but I mean that was like forced in my gullet. And I just remember like boom, and Dan was on be like, oh yeah, this is a gift, you know, from Jamaica. So my first hit from a pong was with Jamaican shit. I'm not joking. I was like, what do we do here? What do you know, Dan's just like, put your mouth around it. I'm like, what? Off we go. Boom. I couldn't speak for a month.
What? Oh, right, you fried your throat.
Oh, I fried it. Yeah. Man, I fried it wasn't a word. And I was like, I think I took one, right? And then I remember, oh, okay, wee buzz. Blues band came in, because they were coming in later. And that's all I remember. I fell asleep. I mean, I forcibly fell asleep.
Yeah.
And yeah, Dan was mental. He was certainly certainly a kind.
We reconnected, me and Dan. Was it just after COVID? On Facebook.
Is he still in Dundee area?
I don't know where he is currently, but he did spend some time in Dundee.
Is he being tracked internationally? Is that what you can read?
International man of mystery is our old friend Dan.
Is he doing all right, or is he
ups and downs? But yeah, I think he's doing okay.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good, because I don't know. You just never knew with Dan.
No,
you never fucking knew with Dan. But yeah, so we were thrown off, and then Dave went into his weird, fucked up egomaniac phase, not seeing anything in front of him that was there, because I got interested in girls. And what a girl. Yeah. That was messy.
No comment.
Yeah, there'll be no comment. That's a place I don't want to talk about. But anyway, so, you know, got bad. No, I don't even think, I say it's an ego thing, but it wasn't. I just could not. My thought processes on things, like, it wasn't clear to what was in front. Even something as simple as I mentioned in a previous podcast. Check out the previous podcast. Where it was like, right, we do practice. We tidy up. I didn't tidy up, I left. I always left.
Rock star.
But that wasn't the mindset.
No.
And it looked that way though. But it's genuinely just, it was pure ignorance. Absolute ignorance. And then I think the last time I spoke with Joe, a long time ago, was I was supposed to get a lift back. And it's my own fault. I wandered off. I can't remember. I think I wandered off and I spoke to another Joe. Do you remember Good Vibrations Joe?
I remember the shop. I didn't know the guy.
Yeah, yeah, I knew the guy. He lived out in the flats in Halkirk, and they were really bad. He's responsible for the whole Punisher malarkey. He gave me yeah, it was that day. I went to his flat and he was like, "Oh, here, have a read of this," and he gave me a lend of it. And then Joe ended up going somewhere else. He was like, "Oh yeah, we're off," and I was like, "Dude, you were supposed to give me a lift back," and then he's like, "Well, you weren't here," and I just took a tism. It was autism. It was just a proper fucking stupid little like meltdown because there was a plan, and the plan had now deviated. So my brain just went, no.
Yeah.
And surprisingly enough, I ended up fucking walking home.
It's a fair strut.
Yeah, but I deserved it, to be fair. But yeah, just that, and then it just kind of fizzled out, and then just everyone goes their own ways. I think when that ended, when Fear Faith ended and we fizzled out, I think that was the beginning of what I term as my self-exile. Because that was when, if you think about it though, only reason I did it was because I got dragged into it. Like I fell into it. I didn't get dragged into it, but I fell into it.
Yeah.
And then once it kind of fizzled out, I just went back to being on my own.
Yeah.
You
went back to the norm for you.
Yeah. Just for me, yeah. Just locked myself away and I was playing music on really, really bad music machines, just pissing about, plonky plonking. And then what was your next band?
So me and Joe stuck together, and we did the cover thing after that. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the name of it?
Cyanide.
There you go, Cyanide.
Yeah.
With,
so that was me on the drums, Joe on lead guitar, Gary Mackay on rhythm, Mark McIntosh, better known as Sprite, on bass.
Sprite was in it?
Yeah, he was.
I don't remember Sprite being in it.
Yeah, he was a bass player, and Rhoda Welsh on vocals.
I remember Rhoda.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had some pipes.
Oh, great. She still does. We did during COVID when I started collaborating with people online.
Yeah, I remember.
Me and Rhoda did a Evanescence cover.
Yeah.
She's still got an amazing voice.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so Saturday night, that was the thing. And we did the cover thing. Mainly classic rock stuff. Played every bar in Caithness. It was like the summer holiday was a tour of Thurso.
As you do.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that kind of ran its course. Me and Joe were maybe more enthusiastic towards it and wanted to like push things differently. So that kind of just fizzled away. Amicably, though it was all fine.
Oh, like you both separated that point.
So we didn't. Cyanide kind of just like stopped, and me and Joe never stopped being pals.
Yeah.
But my kind of taste and stuff were really starting to deviate away from his.
Yeah.
So
that's growing up, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So I started connecting with a guy, David Milligan, who I met at a Causeway dance up west. He used to have a dance called the Causeway dance on, funnily enough, on the Causeway bridge thing. Yeah, I got introduced to him because I used to go up west most summers with my family and go out on the boat, work the creels with my cousin Magnus. But yeah, someone said, "Oh, there's this guy David. He's a guitar player and he's got like drum kit and stuff at his house. He plays a bit of everything. You should go around and have a jam." And that was the beginning of my musical taste really deviating away from like the classic rock covers thing. I was introduced to Biffy Clyro then. So that would have been
Biffy mad.
Well, yeah, I remember that. I remember David asking at that jam, "Oh, do you know any Biffy Clyro?" And my reply was, "Who's he?"
Who's he?
Yeah.
I would have been the same.
So it would have been about 2004, 2005. So I would have been about 14 or 15 when I got introduced to Biffy. I think. I could have that wrong. But I was around that time, yeah. So then that was the next band. That became Waffles.
Ah, my Waffles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was me and David and another guy, I think his name was Callum, who played bass with us a couple of times. But he wasn't really into it, and that's when we brought in Alan Thompson, better known as Little A.
No, see, I was in exile. Didn't know anybody.
Right.
I remember. I remember the old like.
Well, he was Little A because his big brother was Big E. He would have been about your age.
No.
Oh, well, anyway, that's where Waffles came, and I did that for a while.
And then there was another one.
Yeah. So then, yeah, because David took the vocals. So David Milligan, the guitar player, he would sing, but he wasn't a very good singer. But the boy could write a cracking song. He was a very good songwriter. And then I remember it was Reeve, Ben Sutherland.
Yeah.
I put a post on the old caithness.org.
Shutting down.
I seen that, yeah.
Shutting down.
I put a post out saying, here's my influences. I'm kind of looking for a vocalist. And Reeve replied saying, there's this guy called Logan Ford. He's into this kind of stuff. You should send him a message. And he's really good pals with the guy Mark Sutherland. And Mark had kind of left the music scene by that point. And so had Logan, actually, to be fair. So yeah, I messaged this Logan and got him to come down to jam with us and play like some Biffy covers, and I just thought it was like, oh, this is it. This is the band. This is awesome. And we did. Now Log hated the name Waffles, so that's when the name changed to No Exit Wound.
Yep, I remember No Exit Wound. Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember the big bloody bullet hole.
Yeah,
in the logo. I remember that.
So that's what I did for a good couple of years, was No Exit Wound. And that was like the first time I like started touring and stuff. Well, before we toured, actually, Alan left. He stopped playing bass for us, and Logan had started playing rhythm guitar to David, and then David left, so it was just me and Log. And then we got Mark involved, and that became a three-piece again. Mark played bass, kind of bullied him and back into playing music again.
Go on.
Yeah,
go on.
Which I'm so glad I did, because he's still doing it today.
Yep. See, another person you went and spoke to and just helped along there.
Like, I think, like, I would say 90% of my friend base is because of music.
Yeah.
It's connected me with all sorts of people, which I'm very grateful for. So yeah, No Exit Wind did its thing for a while. And then it petered out, difference of opinions in the band. Me and Mark stuck together though. And then I started collaborating with a guy who was in a band called Friday Night Lights. And this guy's name was Peter Bacon. And he was the frontman in that band. And we got together and started like recording some random stuff. And we put out a song online anonymously called Wank Sock.
I remember Wank Sock, yes.
And it started making the rounds a bit. Locally, mind you. But we did it anonymously, so no one knew who it was.
Yeah.
I think some people maybe was inclined to say who it was. But so we put this online, and then it was like, who are these guys? Maybe they should play it. Someone asked them if they would play a gig. And I said to Pete, I was like, do you want to do this? And he was like, yeah. I was like, well, if we're going to do it, we need a bass player. Enter Mark.
Yeah.
And that was the birth of Cactus and Cardigan.
Cactus and Cardigan.
And we did that for just over 5 years.
Yeah. So we fizzled out from Fear of Faith, and then you went through a lot of different bands.
Yep.
And you properly went down your musical journey, because you're starting your touring and you're developing your own tastes, it's fair to say.
Yeah.
And you were in Cactus and Cardigan, and Cactus and Cardigan, if I remember, was picking up good momentum.
Yeah, we were signed to a little label out of Edinburgh for our first EP.
Didn't realise you got that far with it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we actually released 3 EPs in the time we were together. The first one was on a label, and the second 2 were independent.
So it'd be fair to say at that point that, you know, I went into my self-imposed exile, and then you often did the bands and everything. And then what fucking happened again, Jack? What happened?
Well, me and Pete, we kind of connected over a mutual love of wrestling from back in the day. And Caithness Pro Wrestling was starting to become a thing. So, me, Mark, and Pete, that would be a night out for us. We would come along, and we would try and have a pint for every match that was on the card. And I remember coming and just thinking, this is great. And I liked the fact that I was supporting you through it again. And I think we came to about 3 or 4 shows under Caithness Pro Wrestling, and you had that little like vocal PA. Like, that was what the music was on. Like, you could barely, it wasn't very loud, it was tiny. It was like 2 little speakers.
Was this in the Legion?
Yeah, it wasn't Legion.
Yeah. I don't know who's doing the sound in the Legion at that point.
I think you were running an iPad, and I think your runner was just pressing play. I think that's how it was rolling.
I don't remember. Maybe it was.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember like getting into it and being like,
I'm amazed you could get into it back then.
well, I mean,
Because
steaming.
well, I think you'd have to be to get through some of it. Because let's be fair, as I've mentioned before, you're a straight shooter, right? You are no qualms. I mean, you're a wrestling fan,
Yeah.
as well as a music fan, right? So you know what you like, you know what's good.
Well, it's subjective, but yeah.
Yes, but I think there's a baseline.
Yeah.
There's a baseline. You know what's like, all right, this is good and this is trash, right? Much like anything, like there should be a foundation.
Yeah.
And you're pretty straightforward when anyone asks you about their personal performance.
Well,
but you don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're nasty or you're
No.
negative. You'll say if it's good, it's good.
yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, though.
And it's constructive criticism. And I mean, if it is, as I say, the watery shits, I know what your reaction is to the watery shits.
Yeah.
It's Jack. How was that?
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, because I appreciate that kind of feedback on my musical
Absolutely.
output. Like, I've always made a really big conscious effort from an early stage in my musical journey to downplay any sort of ego, because I think the minute you start believing that you're as good as people say is the minute you stop progressing.
Absolutely.
So I've always made an effort. Like, I will take a compliment and I'll thank you for a compliment if someone gives one to me. But I'm not going to rest on that. I'm always going to push to better your opinion on that, regardless of how good it is.
And it applies, in my experience, it applies to everything. I think any medium, the moment you think...
Never rest on your laurels.
Yeah, but yeah, the moment you think you're as good as you think they think you are, then that's what I'm thinking. And also the moment, it's one thing I say with the wrestling training. I say it to all new trainees. I repeat myself to death, because that's what wrestling training is, over and over.
Repetition.
Is the day that you think that you're not learning, or that you don't want to learn, that's the day you should stop.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
It's just going to go from there. You're going to discredit yourself, and you're going to discredit anyone in the medium of what you're doing.
So going back to the Legion,
yes, with your pint a match,
with my pint a match, spending a lot of time at the toilet peeing, but having a great time. I remember sitting back going, it wouldn't take much to make this a better product if I got involved. And I don't mean that in a kind of like big-headed way. I was like, I could help something. Again, it was that kid on the playground come up to you again. I was like, I can help you make this better. I can make a difference here.
Yeah.
Let me give it a bash.
And what did Dave do?
And Dave said, go for it.
No, Dave didn't.
What?
No, you're missing an error out.
Am I?
Yeah, you're missing a bit out. You did come up. And to admit, you were steaming that time. You did.
All right, yeah, well, we're not going to remember that, are we?
Dave, I was fucking amazing. I can make it so much better.
Yeah.
No, I had started the wrestling. Took me a couple of years to get going after the exile. You had been doing that. But then we gravitated back because when you were in Cats and Cardigan, you asked to do the music video.
Did we do the music video before I got involved?
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, we did that well before you got involved.
Wow, I had that backwards.
Yeah.
I thought I was involved before.
No, it was the music video first, Neon Suplex.
Neon Suplex, yeah.
Yeah. We did that first. That was weird and fun. I tell you what was my favourite thing about that was the fact that we taken and do you know what? That video's still up there, and I've watched it. I showed Corbin it not long ago.
A Neon Suplex video.
Yeah, he was like, "Dad, you're so young." I was like, "Shut up."
You got short hair in that, right?
Yes. Yeah, I had my shorter hair then. I go through cycles.
I
think this is like the 5th time. Oh, sorry, am I rubbing it in again?
Yeah. Can we get a counter here on the screen?
I tell you what, next time I cut it, I'll send you some.
Oh dear.
And yeah, I just remember you saying that, okay, and then we filmed it, and I mean, we were still in like what I refer to as like the dark days compared to what we do now.
Yeah.
Like the skill level is totally different.
Oh, completely.
And the presentation and the work and effort it's involved, it's a different beast. But yeah, and I just remember you had the guy up filming. Gordon. Didn't get names again, just Dave.
Gordon was the bass player in Crimson Tide, who F.O.F played with back in the day.
Right. So there's the right. See, I didn't know that.
Mhm.
See, it's just terrible. I don't know if I'm. As I keep saying, it's been a running theme with this, especially when I talk about when I'm younger. I just like I'm a ghost going through things.
Yeah.
I'm not. I pay attention to everything, but
Everything and nothing.
it's a tism.
Yeah.
It is. It's like I'll listen and take everything in, but I never interact with it.
Hmm.
And if it's something that I know, I think my brain goes, "You're never going to see this guy again." So why remember name, facial features, or anything? It doesn't register, and I feel bad about it.
Oh.
But yeah, we did the shot, and
Uh-huh.
then all I remember was like, right, we'll get the performance bit, and I just remember going, "How the fuck are you going to keep the drums stable?" Because that particular ring
It's very bouncy.
was very bouncy.
Mm.
It was a what we call a flex beam.
Right.
So you get different, like you get spring loaded ones and
You had a
flex.
spring loaded one. I remember that.
I did, yeah. And the interesting thing is, through my time involved with professional wrestling and having access to different rings, the first ring was a flex beam, but it was only 5. Well, technically 4 plus the side rails. So it was just side rails that
Okay.
slotted into 4 posts. There was no fancy connection, no bolts. It was just an L shape in the post, and it went clunk.
All right.
And 4 massive 16-foot rectangle shape poles
Mhm.
or structures. 3 bits of wood, thin wood, and then your flooring on top, and then a little bit of padding, and you ratchet it all underneath to get attention.
Mhm.
Because there wasn't a lot of flooring on it, it was really it was squeaky too. It was really squeaky.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I remember being wowed by the sound
Yeah.
of the ring when you guys were running spots and taking bumps. I remember thinking, "Whoa,
Yeah,
it's loud."
it's an energy. That's the way I describe it. Is it's you get like an energy off it,
Mm.
and I think that and again it's part of the training. I tell all the students and trainees that you have to utilize that as a tool.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So that energy and that noise you feel.
Hmm.
And one of the things I don't get it so much with the current ring, which is 1.5 off the floor, but when you have the bigger one with the full apron,
Yeah.
I always remember when I was little that when there was a pop it was the air it would come out
Yeah.
under, and you would get that like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
because you felt it.
Oh, for sure,
It
yeah.
was nothing to do with going out, but you felt the impact because of the noise, the vibration, and the
It was the 4D cinema of the future.
yes, it was
That makes me think of the wrestling show I saw in the town hall with Earthquake. Were you
yeah,
there?
I was there.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's
yeah.
going in the Hall of Fame this year.
Do you remember the 2 guys that came out? I think it was the opening match, and they were English loudmouths. It was, to be fair, now we're older, we know fine what that show was. That was house showy as fuck. But you remember the 2 guys came at the combats?
Oh,
And
briefly,
the
yeah.
shades, and it was 10 minutes. And they were the ones that were facing Earthquake. It was 2 and 1.
See, all I remember is, I only remember that. I don't remember the opponents actually.
I
No.
remember that because I remember them dragging it out, and the guy kept grabbing going up to the ring announcer and saying something, and then the ring announcer just goes, whatever his name was, so and so would like the audience to know that he wants the big fat man to stay away from him. And I remember Ben Anthony that night being one of the most annoying wrestling fans ever.
I do remember the crowd being particularly involved.
Heckly.
Yeah.
Very heckly. Very into it. And I remember the first match ending with a top rope sunset flip. Like not off the top rope. The guy just dived off the top rope and did a sunset flip. And
Right.
even then, come on, the attitude era had happened at that point. I was like, what the fuck is this? But it was very house show. But yeah. But we did it. So I remember you trying to perform in the ring. And then I was blown away by the energy that all of you had when you were filming the video. And I love it on the YouTube video, and I love being able to watch it live because it was so funny. But I just loved it when you lost your shit and you're standing up, and then you just go flying over the drum kit. And I was just like, that's brilliant. That's fun.
Yeah, you've got to, as the kids say, send it.
Oh yeah,
For
take
sure.
it, take it home, brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first kind of like again we'd somehow managed to circle
The
back
universe
again.
took us back together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was on my part a few years of. Now, this is something that I was thinking about today because obviously I knew that we were going to be doing this.
Mhm.
And it really annoys me, and I can't come up with an answer, and I think that's what's pissing me off the most. My tism is not satisfied. You did come up, and you did mention a bit like, I could make this so much better, right? And I didn't take you on at a point.
Well, because I was steaming.
Well, you were steaming, but I was like, why didn't I? And I still don't know why I didn't, because at the time, I was getting fucking shystered. For lack of a better word, I was getting shafted, paying for lighting that wasn't lighting, for sound that wasn't sound.
Mm. Yeah.
I was only getting purple. And then, after being shystered for, I think, 2 years, I decided, you know what, fuck it, I'll do it myself. And then once I set up in the assembly rooms myself on the fucking 30-foot ladder, like, "Rah," I can't believe I was doing that. Like, now, I'm not sure I would do that now. Like, I remember at big heavy fuckers and I had to loosen the hinge and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
But then I remember going backstage, looking at the board. It's like, right, how does this fucking thing work? And I was like,
It's that easy.
I was paying that much for those fuckers to do that. I was raging. I got rooked.
Yeah.
Absolutely rooked. And it was my fault. But I didn't assume I would be so badly taken advantage of. But yeah, so eventually, and I'm struggling when, because I can't remember when. But eventually I was like, right, let's get Jack on board. And you were definitely part of Caithness Pro.
Yeah.
And then
definitely.
lockdown fucked everything.
Mhm.
Then we came back, Combat League.
Yep.
And I think it's since we started doing Combat League that our game upped.
Mhm.
And you added so much more to it as well. Don't like saying you upped your game, but you definitely
I started doing more.
You had more to do because
the first couple of bookings I did, I was doing sound only, and you still had a lighting guy. We did a couple of crossover shows.
I didn't have a lighting guy.
Well, you had a guy
Yeah.
charging you for
having
lights in the building.
for purple.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I was like, well, when you told me the money stuff, I was like, nah. And you had invested in gear by that point, some lights yourself.
Yeah, I had, yeah.
And I was like, I can figure this out. I can do this at the same time I'm doing the current role I'm doing.
Yeah. I think part of it was that I didn't want, or no, not want, I just didn't consider that. I think I compartmentalized, like, oh, Jack sound, that's the lights.
Yeah.
And I never thought about, obviously, you could just combine the two. But especially when we did the house stuff, like, and again, I've said this in nearly every podcast or video when your name comes up. We are now at a point where, and I've told you this, and I mean it, that if you turn around and go, I can't do that date, we ain't doing a show. And that's not a pressure thing on you. It's literally, you add so much to what we do.
No pressure.
No pressure. But you do. And it's like every one of us, see, when we're like doing review night, everyone's like, you're always mentioned. Like, it's always, oh man, look at Jack, got my timing on that. And Jack, look at Jack elevating us there. And it's because, obviously, A, you're talented, you know your shit. B, you're a wrestling fan, so you know. And I mean this in a nice way, you're not an annoying wrestling fan.
Yeah.
You know when to fade out, when to pull in, when to cut, when to think on. Unless you can't see what's going on the camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've really elevated us to so much more. And if we ended up having a show where you couldn't make it and we had to do something ourselves and just like hodgepodge it, it's literally would not be as obviously as good. But I think what we present to the town, I don't think it's fair in that sense as well. That they would get so much less because you add so much to it with the lighting and the sound.
I'm glad, because I promised you a better product.
Oh yeah, and it's always getting. I think it's always getting better. You know, it has like, I always think it's like levels. Different aspects go up, other aspects go down, and I don't think there's any way that you can run it in a sense where everything's going to be good all the time, because there's too many moving parts.
For sure.
But yeah, no, it's astounding to where it's at. But I can't remember when. Can you remember when you started doing the sound and the lights?
I think it was like tail end of Cadence Pro Wrestling. Had you invested in lights before combat?
Yes.
So yeah, it would have been then, because I remember you saying, "Okay, I've got this," because you bought a PA system at the same time.
Yeah.
Um,
I end up with a bin.
which yeah, so it would have been tail end of Cadence Pro Wrestling, and then combat. Because I remember we had the lights, and we just had them on.
Yeah, we
And
did.
then I think it was around the time I started getting involved with Life Arts Centre.
Yeah.
As one of their sound technicians, and then meeting Bobby, who's like their main lighting technician, and him like showing me some stuff, and I'm thinking, like, Bobby's a fantastic lighting technician, and he kind of explained how like DMX lighting works and how they link.
Yeah, I tried studying that when you were on, but like we should really be getting into this.
Yeah.
And I tried studying that, and I was like, huh?
Yeah,
I got the gist of it, but then
yeah.
I was like, I'd get to a point, and I'm
It
like,
still confuses me. But I remember asking Bobby, I'm like, right, I showed him what we had between my stuff and your stuff. I had told him my idea, and I was like, what is like a small little lighting desk that I could operate? And he was like, that'll get you by. And I was like, right, sweet. So I remember, I don't know if I even told any of you guys that I was going to run lights. I just plugged it in and made like, I didn't want to say, oh, this is what I'm going to do, and then it wouldn't work. So I think I had like hooked up, and I was like, oh, that's red, that's green, that's, if I put them together, that makes purple. And it just came from that.
I remember it was gradual because there was like always for a while there was something new added every time.
Yeah, it was me learning as we were on the job.
Yeah.
Because I've always like throwing it back to music. Like I had my own bands, but I also played with other bands, and like Johnny Fats and Isaac.
Yeah.
Like I started playing with them when I was 15, and there was no such thing as a rehearsal there.
No.
The rule was you showed up and you keep up. And I mean, yeah, I used to like have sleepless nights before a gig, but it made me the musician I am today. Because I learned to go on the job.
Power to you, Jesus! That's my arse would collapse at me.
My first wedding with my first gig with John and Isaac and Willie, who was playing bass at the time, was a wedding, and he did take me up to the lighthouse, and we ran over like 3 songs, and he was like, the rest you'll catch on the night. And that was the rule from there. We never rehearsed ever. You show up and you keep up. That was the rule. You watch, always watching. I think that lends itself as well to the lighting game as well. From learning on the job and having like the visual as well. Like for instance with Harbinger, knowing when to kill the red or induce the red. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's always like,
we noticed what you did the last time when we had a wee attack at the end on RJ. You like when the impact of an attack hit, you flashed the red.
yeah, that
Like,
was a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
and but then
In fact, I'd all spur of the moment because I don't know what's going to happen.
we didn't like.
I know the card.
Yeah, well, what did you just say? Keep
What?
up, we fall behind.
Yeah,
It's the same as that. Like
yeah, you show up and you keep up.
Yeah, show up and you keep up. Sorry,
Yeah.
and that's what you're doing when you're watching us.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
we tell you as much. I mean, to be fair, back in the day, you got told nothing.
Well, I was out in the crowd. I was never behind a curtain. When I first started doing sound for you guys, I was out front.
Oh God, so you were.
Because we used to, in the Legion, we still had the back bit open. And I just had the sound desk there, and you guys would run in from the kitchen area.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah.
So if I needed anything or didn't know what was going to happen, I had to run back there to run back to the desk. This was before we thought, why don't we just have a camera with a TV?
And a gorilla area.
Yeah, like,
which is
up the production.
So good.
Like we couldn't provide the same show we're providing now without that.
No. And I mean, I think we always did the best we could with the resources we had.
Yeah.
And it's just grown from that. So here's a funny question I'm going to pose to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, like, you musician, me fuck about.
I wouldn't say you're a fuck about, but carry on.
Well, thank you. I'll take the compliment. And I'm fucking awesome. Oh, look, there's that fucking ego again. I think the longer I've done this, I think there's a heavy correlation or a connection between music and professional wrestling.
Mhm.
between a gig and how a show flows.
Mhm.
The matches are the songs on the set list.
Yeah.
There's room for improvising.
Mhm.
There's things that you need to stick to.
Yeah.
You need communication between all members at certain points, or it can just flow naturally.
Yep.
I don't think, I mean, you go back and like, obviously, like, I think kids are the general reaction when you show them older wrestling. So if I was to, I haven't done it, I might actually do it for an experiment. If I show Corbin old wrestling when they didn't have, because bearing in mind, it wasn't until mid to late 80s before music was,
Before like
they would just
entrance
walk
themes.
in.
Yeah.
There was no themes.
Mm.
It was just you come in.
That'd be boring to him.
Yeah, I think it'd be boring to anyone now, really.
Well, yeah.
Because a theme is so, and as you know, I'm a very presentation kind of guy
Mhm.
with my stuff, Mr. 10,000 Themes. But I think where I'm at the moment, I've nailed it. Personally, I
Mhm.
like what I'm doing now.
Mhm.
But I feel that you need the music to fit the character and the theme to tell the story as well.
Oh, for sure.
So I see like there's such a similarity to them, and I think a lot of when you've been explaining things with the music and stuff, I've been sitting here being like, that applies to how you coach wrestling as well.
Yeah.
And it's a weird one because I can't think of anything else that it's hard to explain. It's the flow I'm more talking about. I know there's a presentation that we're talking about. It's the flow of how a wrestling show and a match
Mhm.
kind of like correlates with music creation and playing and performance. It's not the same as movie making because music is always secondary to a movie. A score is usually after a movie's been done.
Mhm.
Very rarely is it right. We have this score ready. We're going to wrap the movie around it.
Yeah.
I mean, the only movie I can think of that I'm aware of in the last sort of 10 years where something was slightly different was, only because obviously I was a huge fan of the movie, shock horror, was the first Joker movie,
Okay. Yeah.
where the bathroom scene was originally, he was just going to clean his face.
Mhm.
They had that track done, and the director was like, "Oh, so it's finished."
This will work.
And they played it, and that's when Joaquin was like, "Oh," and I don't know why. I cried at that scene when I seen it in the cinema.
Really?
Yeah, it's just like, and I know it's artsy fartsy, and I do think I haven't seen the second one yet. I own the second one, and I'm frightened to watch it.
This is the musical one.
I don't mind it being a musical.
I never watched it.
I don't mind it being a musical,
I liked the first one.
but I don't think it needed another one because
No.
I don't think the tone's gonna be right in the sense of the way that I related to the first Joker movie. Oh hell, well, just realizing there again, just play the A card, but it's an autistic thing. He was treated differently.
Mhm.
He was an outcast the whole time. There's a lot of similarities that
Yeah.
I relate to, and then him having the moment where he breaks, and obviously, spoiler alert, kills the guys on the train, and then does the dance, and the dancing is obviously a theme through it, where it's the real him coming out
Mhm.
and feeling free and liberated. And I don't know why that music, man. And I actually make a point. I don't watch Joker often. I have seen that film 3 times or 4 times max.
Mhm.
And I also make a point not to listen to the soundtrack because I don't want it to lessen that scene for me. I don't know why. It just pulled me. So I can tell you a true story that's happening right now. Ricky is screaming at the screen, shouting and roaring, going, "Yeah,
This screen here.
No, well, yeah, it'll be the screen he's watching it on.
Hi, Ricky.
He'll be like, "Get a fucking card." He's been at me every time going, "You're taking too long to get the cards." And this has been, I think, the longest I've gone before I've got to a card. But there was a lot to go through there, Ricky. It's a lot to go through. So we'll go for the rules of the cards. I did say in my last podcast, I was like, the rules of the cards, we'll go over them again. And I didn't go over them again. I just continued prattling. So the rules of the cards are you have to answer them. You get 1 pass.
Okay.
Right? So you need to think about that. But yeah. And if I shouldn't say it, but some people are smart enough to then fire the question back at me because I'm supposed to answer it as well.
Fair.
But Liam didn't.
And you just let it run.
I got away with 2 of them. Right, what we got? First card. You ready?
As I'll ever be.
Oh, shit, the bed, man. Uh, uh. Jack,
David,
have you ever heard your parents having sex?
I have never, thankfully.
What?
I have never.
Get that. You must be the only.
I never sleep in silence. I can't sleep unless there's music on.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Right? How
Silence.
does this process work?
I go to sleep on my laptop on beside me with music playing.
No headphones.
No. Can't sleep in silence. Silence bugs me. I hate silence.
Wow.
It gives me too much time to think. I don't like thinking.
You're a neuro.
Possibly.
That's like an ADD thing.
I can't sleep without.
I mean, you're a musical savant, so there must be something there.
Maybe. I wouldn't say savant, but thank you very much.
I just say that. Just staying humble, man. Staying humble. God, I love it. So.
I think my parents were blessed as well because I was a very busy kid. So I was very rarely in. So you're welcome, Mum and Dad.
So plenty of time. Free open house.
Anyway.
I'm
not going to ask you because
not going to answer it.
Me and your dad are good pals.
Never heard my dad. Never heard my dad. Because obviously my mum and dad were separated.
Yes.
My mother was a hooer, so yeah. You present that question to me, and my answer to you is, which one? Which fucking one? So, yeah. Oh. Right. On to the next one. We're gonna rattle through, because I think we did the majority of the chat first. So we're gonna rattle through some cards.
Yeah, crack on.
We'll go for a softer one. No.
What, was that not hard enough?
That was a question I wouldn't ask anyone.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, that's more like it. If you were broke and desperate, would you become a prostitute?
Now, am I taking or giving?
I mean, that's really up to the client, isn't it, Jack?
No.
I mean, if you were desperate.
No, I don't think I would.
No.
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 What if it was like a bombastic 6 foot tall, blonde, whatever you're into?
Just assume that a 6 foot blonde is the
What was a 7 foot tall harbinger?
harbinger tickles the pickle, people. You heard it here first.
Sexy big Steve.
No.
No.
No, I definitely look at other avenues. I wouldn't.
You look out there, just not up an avenue.
No. Prostitution, no.
No.
Nah.
I
mean, never say never, but I would definitely.
Never say never. Is it just something you got planned in the future there, yeah?
Well, I mean, you gotta prepare for the worst sometimes.
I mean, have you seen that out there? It's getting through hairy.
Yeah.
Now, I have a very...
Lots of experience.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Sorry.
Or anything else yet. Until you pay me.
This is taking a dive.
Absolutely. As my wife knows, and she's known, and I've been like this my whole life.
Are you saying this because she's not in the house?
No.
Okay.
No.
Shout out,
No,
Susan.
she wouldn't have a go at me. A lot of people have the view of like prostitution and sex industry. It's like, ugh. I've never actually been that way.
Oh no, I'm the same. I don't turn my nose up at people that are in it.
I think at the end of the day, it's a choice.
Yeah.
It's your body. But there is always the element that's always portrayed is the crime element and the seedy side of it. I've always been more aware of the less sort of seedy side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and by the way, just to be clear, I have not partaken in anything like that. I've been with Susan since I was like very, 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 very young. Like I was with Susan when I think just after the band, towards the end of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Susan came to a couple of the band parties, remember? And Jules on a Saturday. She came to one of them. Yeah. It's a long time ago.
I don't remember that.
It's a long time ago. But yeah, I've always been more open to it, and I think if it's safe, responsible, and done, for lack of a better word, professionally, and safe being the main one, and consent on both sides, then absolutely, why not? It's been there since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, I remember a long time ago, I watched a documentary just by pure chance. It was just like flicking the channels when there was 4 of them, and it was really, really interesting. And so it was showing you in, I think, the 60s. I can't remember the place, all the relevant information I have forgotten, but it showed you actual footage of what this particular big, busy main street looked like in England, and it was prostitution, and it wasn't like the CD, like, you want a good time there, fella, fucking fag hanging out the mouth.
GTA style.
It was girls that were going out on Saturday night, and we're going to go watch a band and that, and then at the end of the night, they'd be looking for a boy. And the only difference was that they'd get what they were looking for, and they would also receive payment for it.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit seedy, but it wasn't. The attitude when you watch these interviews, it was like, it was free for them, it was liberating. There was obviously the crime element then. But then there was an interview, and again, it was really old footage, and it was this old lady, this like typical granny, big perm, the blouse, everything, big milk bottle glasses.
And she was still getting some.
Oh, well, I don't know. She wasn't on the road. But
Okay.
what she did on a Saturday night was concerned about the girls, right? This is really fucked up. She'd open her house to it.
Or give them a safe place.
Yeah. And she knew what was going on, and she didn't take money. She wasn't a pimp.
Pimping granny. Pimping ain't easy.
Pimping ain't easy, y'all. Do you want some apple pie with it? But she would open her house to it, because she says, oh, the girls are lovely, and I see them every weekend, and we all know each other. We have a cup of tea, and it's like, it's such an open thing. Now, history is written by the winners. That was normal in England in that sort of time. It was coming up to one of the Queen's first celebrations. That's when the original crackdown started, and that's when police started being told, get that off the streets, because it didn't look good leading up to this Queen thingy where they were going to be doing all this malarkey. It had to be cleaned up, and it never went back, which I found interesting. But yeah, I mean, and now the question is, if I was broke and desperate, would I become a prostitute? Yes, if I was absolutely desperate, but we live in different times. Now we have, of course, digital and OnlyFans.
Yeah.
As we know, especially in the wrestling world, there are wrestlers on television that have been, busting their ass, doing this, doing that, and they were receiving what we would consider to be high-end contracts and good money and good salaries, and then, they either get dropped or they move on, and then they're like, oh, well, do you know what? Good body, athletic, I've got something marketable. $1 million within the first week.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. And again,
get it. Go for it.
Yeah. Hustle, get your hustle.
Absolutely.
I would do it. My problem is, I don't think my product's very good.
I think that is where my answer stems from.
It's a confidence issue.
Yeah. Let me do a couple hundred sit-ups before we get started. Thank you.
I'm so hungry.
I had a really salty dinner last night.
I've eaten 100 pineapple juice for a week.
I swear.
But yeah, I think it was. It's different. It's not like I'd have to go out in the street and put myself in a miniskirt and some fishnets. I mean, some people might want that, but
there's a visual for your listeners.
Absolutely. Let's quick fire and join these cards. On to the next one. We're gonna go. What was that? Was that an After Dark? No, that was a bad choice. We're going After Dark again. I think you could cheat answer this.
I'll try and be honest.
I think you could cheat answer it. Have you ever given or received a rim job?
Nope.
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 No. See, I thought you were going to cheat, and I thought you were going to use the rim, the drum. Snare.
No. No.
Love that rimming.
These cards are lending themselves to the sexual nature, I'm finding. But no. It's an exit hole.
What was that?
It's an exit hole.
Oh, it's an exit hole. That's okay. Well, there. If you're not into it, you're not into it.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a germaphobe, so it doesn't lend itself to me.
Oh wow! What are you doing in my house then? You're gonna get hip just sitting there.
Sanitizer as soon as I leave the house. No, I'm joking.
I hoovered and everything. Do you know what? I even dusted this room.
Looks wonderful.
I mean, it's. I missed some bits, but oh no, not the shelves, not the bookshelves. See, the bookshelves can't get it, Jack. Oh no, shaming me. I can't dust them because of the books. I'm not taking all of them out to put them back in. That is not happening. Okay?
This is what my granny used to do to my mum and dad. If she came in and there was like, especially around the fireplace, she would just leave her signature and not tell them until it came, like to the point where they noticed it.
But it's like these are all like arranged in order, so I'm not taking them all out. And the fact that I'm thinking about doing the move from putting this all downstairs, I'm taking photos, so I know, because that, believe it or not, that from your side. All the way to here, and now I've run out of room there, plus the book is behind you, that's all one continuous timeline of a story.
Oh, cool.
Which I've been keeping away for years. And then that's another timeline. So that's why every one of them, obviously, they're all together.
Yeah.
Like the Batman in particular is like chronologically done.
Nice.
So that's why it's dusty. No, I have never given or received one because ironically it doesn't tickle my poop shoot. Just doesn't tickle it for me, you know what I mean?
Poop shoot.
Just nah, it's not my thing.
Your Brunei.
Well, what was it, Struan? Mr. Struan Fraser shouted at the not last show before.
I don't know. That boy can run his mouth.
Was it my stinky brown bumhole or something?
I can't remember.
There's no filler. There's no filler. Absolutely no filler. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's an easy one. Would you accept £500,000, but every time you speak, you have to rub your nipples?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
See, I mean, if I was to do a podcast with those rules in place, there'd be nubs. There'd be nothing left by the end of it.
Aye, certainly. I'm going to say yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to say hell yeah, and I'm just going to give a wee shout out to my boy Mark Sutherland, and he'll know exactly why I've just said hell yeah. And I'm saying no more on that.
Okay. But wait. There's no time limit on it. There's no time here, so that means that you only get £500,000. You got to do that for the rest of your life.
Well, just sit and rub my nipples
every time you spoke. I don't know if you know us. I like speaking. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man, the chafing.
Yeah, I mean, but hock to and you'll be fine.
A little bit of the hock to. Nature's lube. After dark. Let's go. Let's keep rattling. Oh, this is
get a lot more cards than your previous guests.
Oh, absolutely. Well, see, we did a long chat there, so now it's all just let's get the fun stuff. Have you ever been caught masturbating?
Yeah. I think we all have, let's be honest. Not like
Assassin's Creed, baby. That's me.
Yeah, not the like I'm standing up naked.
Stand up naked.
Going to town on myself. Over a mirror. And the door opens.
Over a mirror. No. Listening to Beethoven.
Oh, that symphony's got me going.
Repeating one of Joe's solos.
Yeah. Maybe like a kind of like,
close to like
yeah.
And like whoever caught you knew what was going on, but
more than likely.
But nothing was said.
Yeah.
Ninja baby, ninja
wanker.
Ninja wanker. Whoa. Never see me have super fun good time. See, again though, it goes back to that thing about the prostitution. The only reason I've never been caught is because nobody wanted to catch me. You know?
Get the violins out.
Is that during your one? This is a good one for you. It's not a dirty one, thankfully.
Wow, makes a difference.
Have you ever gotten a tattoo that you regret?
No.
No, you're quite meticulous with that.
Yeah, I take my time with tattoos. But no, I don't regret any of them. I
Ah,
got my first one when I was 17, and I don't
was
regret
Biffy
it.
your first one?
Yeah.
Biffy.
Yeah.
And you only discovered Biffy when you were 15, was it? You said 15? 15?
Yeah.
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 So yeah, listen.
It made a big impact on my life, that band, and still do. Very close to my heart. Always will be. And my arm, funny.
That's good you have something like that, though.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't-
no, I don't regret my tattoos. Maybe the person who did the initial one,
All right, okay.
but for what they are and what they stand for, no, not at all. Life's too short for that kind of regrets.
No, I'm trying to think.
I mean, now if I
Now,
was
see, now without saying anything, I'm trying to think who did the original tattoos. Was that up here?
no, it was a guy in. I can say it now because I think he's long gone. He was in Dingwall. He had a shop in Dingwall, and he used to.
Is that guy who used to do the bike?
He used to do the bike rallies.
He did Susan. Susan's got tattoos.
Reword that, yeah.
Sorry. Whoa. He did a tattoo on Susan.
Yeah.
And Susan was very young.
Well, I was underage too.
Oh, you were under 8?
I was 17.
Oh shit, so you were, yeah, I was 18, I forgot that. No, Susan got a really small tattoo on her shoulder. And it's just like a double heart design. It's very small, it's like that. And then I think she went like back to him, and I don't think she was getting anything done, but I think it was along the lines of, I'm gonna get a new tattoo, And then he was like, and then he was drunk a lot of the time, as we all know, and he looked at the back of it and went, who the fuck did that? And she was like, you did. He goes, oh, for fuck's sake, don't tell anyone. My dad has tattoos by him.
Really?
Because he did the bike rallies.
Of course, yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did he get in trouble for exactly? Or?
I have no idea.
No. I know he was like poor practice in that and everything.
Yeah.
And bad with
yeah.
drink.
No, I have no idea what happened to him.
Ironically, Susan does have a really bad tattoo, but it's not by him. But it was really bad. I think he got infected and everything. I think the woman that did it got shut down very quick because there was a lot of people getting infections and things, and it was really bad.
Yeah. I would say take your time over choosing your artist and go to a reputable studio.
See, that just breaks my heart, doesn't it? Breaks my heart because I was Holly did that one.
Mm-hmm.
I love that tattoo. But unfortunately, I had a bit of reaction. I think it gave her a bit of fear, understandably, and she's not keen to tattoo me again.
All right.
Because of the reaction, which I understand. But also, I'm looking for more color-based tattoo.
Yeah.
And she likes black and white, so it just hasn't worked out, which I'm a bit gutted about. But because I think Holly's work is really, really good.
I would challenge anyone to say anything coming out of Sans Pure Tattoo.
Oh, absolutely.
Is not above.
I've got one of these
excellent
actually.
just now.
That's Mark, and that's Holly. So, but yeah, I may just need to rethink my plan on the color side of things because I really wanted kind of like more color on this.
Was that a certain color that reacted?
No, it's not. I didn't have a reaction to it. It's not to the tattoo. It's a autism thing. My immune system's lower, so if I'm like having a crap time and I get like really tired or just everything drops, it's not just the tattoo who gets it. It's just at that point because that's obviously what's the wound.
Yeah.
It went very bumpy, and then antihistamine, the bumps actually disappear. But this tattoo did it as well, and there's no color in it.
Right.
And I just think I get why. I mean, she didn't say outright she didn't want to like tattoo anymore, which was fine. It was just at the time I had my mindset on what I wanted, and she has suggested some color art, but I may need to rethink being stubborn on the color. But there was a reason for it. But yeah, but I do have a tattoo that I regret. I have one on the back of my neck.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I got that on holiday.
Soup.
Yeah, soup. That's probably what it says. Probably says soup. It is. It's a fucking stupid one. I think it's a Chinese symbol, which is so bad, in black and red. And it's ironically, I have no fucking idea why, but it's mother. And for anyone that knows me, I did not get on with my mother, and I didn't particularly like my mother. And I think the only reason I got it was out of guilt because at that point she'd been diagnosed with lung cancer. So I think there was some correlation there. Like, oh, I better get something. I think the plan was that I wanted to get. I mean, it was the end thing back then, but it's tacky as fuck now. I wanted to get a line, the symbols. So I started with that on the back of my neck, and it was in Spain. And the tattoo shop was actually pretty good. Everything about it screamed, "Don't fucking go in here." Like everything about it was like bad idea. But we were looking, and we were like, "Smells clean. You can smell the fucking."
Dale.
Yeah, you can smell it all. The place was spotless, which over in Spain is pretty good because it's like the fucking sand in the drier bits. And it was this big, burly, stereotypical English dude covered in tats, big belly, you know what I mean? Like stunk of cigar. And I just remember him tattooing the back of my neck, and he was so funny. And I was like, can you stop fucking trying to make me laugh because I'm gonna move.
He was trying to make you move when he was tattooing.
I know he was trying to make me move, but he was naturally funny.
All right,
like he
okay.
was really funny. And all I can remember is like he just like it was a 5-minute diatribe on how much he loved Cheryl Cole's arse, and it
The
was
tattoo on her arse or just her arse?
no, just her arse at that point.
Oh, okay.
So
I mean, fair, but the
I think
tattoo
it was
is cool
I
too.
think it was pre-tattoo.
Right.
So no, tattoo's not cool. Defaced a national treasure. But yeah, I regret that one. I've only got 3. These 2 and that one, and I really want to get more, but just have to either look out a color artist or get off my high horse and compromise a bit.
I don't think you should compromise something that you want done.
I think it's a big deal for me though because it takes a lot. Again, we go back to it, but the tism. I can't have anyone just touching me.
Yeah.
And it was, I think I hit it quite well, but when I went in and got that one done by Holly, I was like absolutely fucking terrified. When she started, it's not even the pain of the tattoo; it's just the fact someone touching me, and I'm like, and then it eased off because Holly's really good at just like getting you to relax and the patter and everything. And she's really good at putting you at ease. And like I love the fact as well that she put the stencil on, and it looked okay, and she was like,
ridiculous over
yeah, and I had
stencils.
heard tale of this, but that's what you want. That's what you want.
Absolutely.
Because right enough at the time she put it on, she put it like this way, and then I was like, it was something to do with like the flex of the skin or something. It wouldn't. It's closer to the elbow, so it's
Yeah.
And she's like, no, here, and
Yeah.
that's what you want.
Absolutely.
Just devastated that I can't get what I want, but I understand why. Let's go for another bad one. Oh no. That's not even funny. People don't need to get involved with that. Right, can we move on from the Chuggaroonies? That's a game card, so it's not. Oh, there we go. That's better. Right, so we're single. Right, we're fully single.
Single man.
Single man.
Okay.
Single man, possibly with very successful OnlyFans pages.
Yes.
Yes, get it done. Would you sleep with a really sexy person, even though they had horrific BO? Come on, Mr. Germaphobe.
I mean, if I found them attractive, I could probably see past it.
Really?
But I mean, if you smelled like a bad curry, it would maybe make things. I would say, I was going to say it'd make things quite hard, but it'd probably be the opposite.
It makes me go flaccid.
Keep things quite soft.
But see, you're.
Can I say? Here's my answer. I'd give it a bash.
Yeah, but that is the definition, sort of a lucky dip, because you don't know what you're gonna get. I mean, it does say BO, so I mean, body odor could be anything. I mean, let's go down.
I mean, it's hard enough being behind the curtain with you lot at a show.
Do you know what? I'm not even gonna argue with you. It's rough back there.
It can be, especially when. Now, I love you all. I know you're watching this, but when you guys crowd around that monitor at my back, just give a little thought.
Oh my god. Right, this is Jack, right? Sitting at his soundboard. Like this. Doing his work. Intense. Looking for the cues, right? You know this. This is a face he pulls, believe it or not. Right. Lips come out.
I thought am I mixing it?
Cue point when they're going at the curtain. That's how you mix. Another thing, split. Right? And then all behind you is about, what, say 6 or 7 sweaty
Yeah. I mean, I've gone.
That's a good bump, that is. Oh, aye. Oh, look at that move. Don't forget Q, Jack. Don't forget Q. Just dripping on the back of your neck.
Nah, yeah, I mean, no, nobody's dripped on me. But that's not to be a challenge accepted by any of you.
I don't think I'm up, but I think I give you space to it.
No, you'd give me space. There's.
It's a tight corner.
Yeah, it is a tight corner. Maybe we'll get a bigger monitor at some point. That might help.
No, not my budget.
Yeah, I was just easing that into conversation.
But no, remember the one time the monitor did fail and you ended up taking out a big flat screen.
That's right, in Wick in the assembly rooms. Yeah.
No, it was in Legion. That was only about a year or two ago. That was in a Legion.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because I had a big flat screen in the assembly rooms once as well.
I think you did do it once, yeah.
Because I borrowed it off a mate who just lived up the street.
But no, it was.
Did that happen there as well?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was. That was a good one. But yeah, Susan takes great delight, and every time she has to go from the front, she comes backstage and be like, "Woo, you stinking motherfuckers!"
And she's happy now with her walkie-talkie. She doesn't even need to come back.
I know. Yeah, she doesn't need to get all stanked up. I mean, it is understandable. I mean, it's not like we're sitting there all dirty. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of deodorant going a bit. But yeah, I think we don't notice it as much because obviously we're in there.
Yeah, you're in the ring. You're working up a sweat.
Yeah, and I've got a stink because I've got the paint now as well. So that, like, did you see the state of Jenny after the last match?
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but then I'm sure Ricky would say, "Well, did you see the state of my gear after the match?"
Like 3 shows in a row, Struan's bled all over him, and his gear's white.
Susan messaged me during that match saying, "Is he bleeding?" And I replied saying, "Yeah." And she was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "No, he's fine, and it looks awesome." And she was like, "No, I'm going to have to clean it." I was like, "Oh yeah, fair."
Yeah, she was quick on that too. Because I was like, oh god, because all I remember was that Struan had a nosebleed during the match, and it wasn't through impact. He just had a nosebleed.
Yeah.
Poor timing. And all I remember was doing my cue, running out, getting ready to do the promo. Remnant hit the Destino. Harbinger hit the chokeslam. I get in, and like, hats off to Ricky, because I was like, I don't have to hit bad move on you as well. He's like, no, that's it. And that was the end of the discussion. I don't know if you noticed on the night, I didn't even hold it. I just like picked him up and threw him down as quick as I could.
It's quick.
Because he was like, why didn't you hold me up? I was like, dude, I just wanted to end for you at that point. Like, I don't want to kill you.
Yeah.
Ironically, doing it faster, I think, hurt more.
Oh.
Because I put the momentum. But yeah, once I dropped him and I got on my knees and stood up, I saw the floor and it was, it was fucking everywhere.
It travels, like.
Yeah. It was everywhere, and it was not just drips, puddles.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible, and all I could think of was,
it looked awesome.
How are we going to clean it? And Susan's cleaned it up, and it's turned it all right.
Ah, that's fine then.
The canvas is currently sitting in my corridor downstairs.
And Ricky's gear?
He sends it to his mama to clean it out because she's got like some secret technique to clean it.
Secret Hernandez.
I don't think it's coming out this time though.
Oh.
I mean, I think we would add to it. I mean, as long as
But he's
clean.
been talking about new gear, so.
Well, now he's got a blood splat effect.
he wanted some colour, he got some.
Yeah. I think maybe a change of gear wouldn't be amiss though, because they always say don't pick white. Because obviously it gets dirty easier. Sweat tends to stain a lot worse on it. Blood shows up a lot worse on it. It can also be see-through in certain situations.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't think, I know why he wanted white, because it was the whole Johnny Cash. It meant a lot to him.
Yeah, it was the yin and yang thing too, eh?
Yeah, I always forget the yin yang thing. Yeah. But it's now, what's black and white and red all over? RJ Cash.
There's another t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Where is the merch these days? Back in the day, they used.
Right.
I never saw a penny for my Let's Go Lego t-shirt, by the way, which I started. Steaming Jack in the back row when the Lego came out. Let's go Lego!
I've never denied that you started.
No.
And it's really, do you know what's really strange is the fact that we've gone through about maybe 3 to 4 turnovers of, I mean, there's the diehards that have been there for a long time. I'm sorry, I forget your name. I don't even know if you watch the podcast or the videos, but there's a young lady now who goes to the shows with her dad, and that last show was 10 years straight.
All right.
She's been to all the shows with her dad.
That's
And I'm
awesome.
just like, that's crazy. That's again, that's one of the things where I'm like, this was worth it.
Yeah.
But yes, so I think it was the first time I ever used Lego, and you did roar Let's Go Lego, and it caught on. The crowd went Let's Go Lego. It was a great chant. I did make a T-shirt out of it because every time the Lego came out, it was Let's Go Lego.
Mhm.
And we've had about 4 turnovers of families, generations, whatever, and they still shout Let's Go Lego.
You're welcome.
Oh, is that you starting it in the back?
Oh
Is
no,
it?
no, no, no! I'm just saying that
Yeah.
where it came from.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't. I mean, the Lego got upgraded the last time I had a hardcore match.
Yes.
Nuts and bolts. That was fun.
Fun. Yeah.
It was
cool.
fun. The bend was the worst thing. So I've not like the can't even see it in this light. Where is it? Where's it? I've lost it. I've lost it. Which arm is it? I don't even know. I've got scars from it.
There is a scar there.
There's
Yeah.
one. There's one, and there's the other one.
That was just from the bin.
The bend. That one bump.
It wasn't a pretty bump.
No, it wasn't. The hitting it was okay.
Yeah.
I was just annoyed because it was my fault. I thought Brody was really, really, really good with me. Really good with me, and I was expecting like,
yeah,
but no, totally safe, totally nice. I don't know why. I just had it in my head that I was gonna feel my legs more. So when I was sitting on the shoulders, I'd know like, oh, I'm balancing.
Yeah, yeah.
Never came.
Right.
And then it was like,
oh, I'm down.
Oh, we're actually going, and I still had my hand because I was waiting for the balance to let go and just let Jesus take the wheel. And it never happened, and it caused this like awkward. No.
It looked good on my cam.
I mean, it wasn't clean, but to be honest, did it need?
Did it need to be? No.
But when I hit the bin, it wasn't awful. Like it sucked, but it wasn't like the worst pain. But then as I was lying there, I was like, burning sensation. Ooh, it's been a while since we had this burning sensation. I'm like, that's a cut. And then I got backstage and somebody was like, oh, you're leaking, Dave. And I looked down and I was like, oh, shit. And they were quite deep. It was the bin. When I landed on it, it was sheet metal. So the bin crushed in the middle where it was supposed to. And it was folded over the bottom. And it popped out. And that's what just went.
Right.
And it was deadly sharp. I never kind of anticipated that. I actually made a point to get that kind of bin because it's going to crumple easier.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to get like one of the incinerators or Lidl's, which is like solid steel, because I would just snap my spine over it. But I didn't think it was going to slice me up as bad as that. But I still wind Brody up with that because she didn't beat me. She got a 3 count, but she didn't beat me. You show me my shoulders on that mat. You show me my shoulders on that mat.
Controversy.
Oh, how noble. Would you sacrifice your life for a family member?
Yeah.
I think we all would. I think we all have someone we would do that for. I mean, technically, I've already sacrificed my life for Susan. I've given you everything. Everything. I would sure be like, no, you fucking haven't.
Because that's how your wife talks.
Maybe. You don't know what she's like behind closed doors.
No, well, fair.
She sounded like, she sounded like, what's his name? I used the voice from Still Game. Fergie. No, you didn't. There's my cute nickname for her now. My wee Fergie.
Julie noted that's going to be her radio frequency name now.
Do you know what my nickname for Susan actually is? And I've called her this. I've called her 2 things since I've gone out with her. I'm now married to her, have children with her. The first thing was Dingwallian Warrior.
If she was in the ring, that would be her name.
Absolutely. The Dingwallian Warrior. And there's a story that goes with that. So I always called her Dingwallian Warrior anyway. When we were going out and we were teens. Then we ended up going to go see Brave.
Okay, yeah.
It was empty. There was nobody in.
And the character Dingwall came up.
The way it went was it was just going. And then in comes a wee guy, puts a stool down. Dingwall! I didn't laugh, I didn't shout, I just went. And she just went. And nothing was said, and she knew at that moment, and she was like,
I'm going to marry this guy.
I was like, I don't know, maybe she didn't remember that, but she genuinely was like, that's it. That's it. This is the entirety of my life now with this guy. That's it. That image. I'm doing well. We
Forever.
doing well.
Forever.
I haven't actually called Corbin we ding well yet.
Oh, it's coming, Corbin.
Hey,
It's
we
coming.
ding well. So that one and the other one, I just and it is a term of affection, believe it or not. I call her my little piranha fish. I just always call her that. I don't know why.
Who are we to judge?
She's my little piranha fish. Yes. Yeah, I think we better wind down a bit. As much as I want to keep going, but I think I need an excuse to get you back on and talk about some other stuff at some point. If not just the cars. Because there's so much stuff that I didn't discuss with you. We went into a lot about how we keep meeting back up. But I would like to get you back on and talk a little bit more about what you're doing musically now. Because you do a lot. Like the lifestyle. Ow.
It's time to wrap down.
Life's art.
Life.
Life.
Yeah.
Life. Oh, it makes it easier. There's no S.
There's no S.
Life Art Centre. Like I was calling it Life.
Lights. I work at lights.
You making fun of my speech impediment?
No.
Life Art Centre. Like you do things there. And we haven't really gone into like your current one of your current bands, Pale Moon, which is stuff I want to kind of like talk about with you as well. So, would you be alright coming back on something?
Absolutely.
Nice, because I've enjoyed this chat. It's been nice. It's been very chill. And I think for me again, you've done that thing again by coming on. You've done the same thing that Little Jack did. As you've come on and you've made me realize that it's actually quite. It's fucking cool how it just. We may not have been bosom buddies. We may not have been hanging out all the time, but it's pretty fucking cool that for some reason it just keeps circling back.
Yeah.
And in a way, that's kind of special in its own right. I think that's fucking cool. I think it's
poetic as fuck.
It's fucking poetic. And it's a good safety net, because if you did hang out with me every day, you'd be fucking fuck that guy. He's a fucking ass.
The same would be said for you.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
We accept the compliment and we move
There
on.
we go. Move on. And just anytime you feel like you want to. Sorry, I had an itch. But yeah, so we'll wind down. We'll do the usual stuff. So again, if you want to get in contact, it's email at official let's talk about me at gmail.com. If you want to go on the Instagram, which is my main social media thing, where there's like stupid stuff on it and just me rambling, maybe random videos, me trying to be funny and not. It's Instagram, which is let's talk about me 6. I'm also on the TikTok, not doing TikTok dances. Let's talk about me 6 is the TikTok. Let's talk about me 1 is the Instagram. I have too many of them now. So the handy thing is there's going to be graphics here now, so that fixes all of this fuck up. Yeah, I'm thinking. I've also got a Facebook page, which is like it doesn't offer much in the sense of like you can't do what you can do on Instagram.
Yeah.
All that's happening is the Instagram videos get shared to that page, and then they'll seem to link. But I have a Facebook page if you want to go like that as well. Not yet, but at some point I think I'm going to try the Blue Sky thing, just to be like a bit like a rash, is the way I describe it.
I've never even heard of that.
Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Blue Sky is, from what I can see, the backlash to Elon and Twitter. The moment Twitter went. I mean, Twitter was bad anyway. I always refused to use Twitter. It was always bad. I thought it was always toxic as hell. But Blue Sky is like, oh, well, this is new Twitter now. We're nice Twitter. I have heard tell it could be going. It's social media. What the fuck, you know what I mean? And I hate social media. I absolutely hate it. But necessary evil, and I have enjoyed putting out some of the stuff I've been doing. The YouTube is where you are now. You just obviously search for Let's Talk About Me. If you found it, have a cookie. And I did have another podcast planned to record a couple of days, but that's been postponed. I've had 2 that's postponed now, but there are more coming. And I definitely think the next video of me ranting rubbish is going to be something to do with John Carpenter, because I'm on a wild John Carpenter kick right now. Wild. Just sat through. I say sat through. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Escape from New York.
Right.
Which I've seen periodically on and off, and I've always liked that movie. But I've never had a moment where I could just sit and watch it start to finish. And it's a really weird movie. You never seen it, no?
No.
It's very of its time, but even of its time, it's very like so low budget, very dark, no lighting, not much of a story to it. But for some reason, it's like, oh, that was alright.
Because it's dark.
No. I mean, it's literally dark. Like,
No, I know, but
yeah,
like,
yeah.
is the story dark? That's why you're gravitating.
No, it's very comic booky.
Okay, fair.
I would say that kind of angle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally just New York's a prison,
Okay.
and president plane crash. Dude, go in. Must save
Spoiler
president.
alert.
That's the plot set.
For your viewers.
You can see it in the blurb. And then I watched Escape from LA from 1997, which is a sequel to it, and it's hated.
Oh.
It's fucking brilliant. It's not a good movie, but it never tries to be. It's brilliant. It's redonkulous, and it's supposed to be. And I think both of them are one of that films you watch it and you're like, I don't think people got it. It's not supposed to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Same with it could be. I keep coming back to it, and it could be my favorite comfort movie just to watch. And I watched it with Corvin not long ago, and he loved it. And it was quite a big moment for me to watch it with him. He's obviously gone through like the Star Wars
I
phase.
was just about to say, was that Star Wars?
Yeah, no, it wasn't though. No, that's a thing people think that. No, it's always been like my top whatever. I don't tend to have like an all-time favorite of anything.
Yeah.
But this one, I would say, if I was told if you could only watch one more movie, what would it be? It'd be this one. And it's not a work of art. It's not amazing. But to me, it's like start to finish. It's like an hour 40 that I love. I love the music. I love the story. It's Big Trouble in Little China.
Okay.
I love the soundtrack to that. I love the acting. I love the characters. I love how dumb it is, and I love how misunderstood it is. I know Kurt Russell's the main man, as he's front and center. But the joke I always love about that movie is Kurt Russell is not the action hero in that movie. He thinks he is.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually pay attention when you watch the movie, he never gets in a good fight in it. He always fucks up. He's always clumsy. It's his mate, who's never front and center of the camera. He's the action star. He's the one that's got all the moves.
There's your next review video.
Oh, that's going. It's happening. If I'm nattering to you about it there, it's happening. It's spewing out. It needs to be released into the world.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you for coming on, Jack.
No, it's been a pleasure.
I really enjoyed that, and I know there was a few tangents, and it's. I got a funny feeling. I might be wrong, but I got a funny feeling this could be the longest one I've done. It might have to be split into a two-parter. Oh, look at me. Look at us chatting away. But yeah, thanks for coming on. I really want to get you back on again, like I said. And yeah. Have you got any shows or anything coming up?
Yeah, well, not with my own bands, but I am playing a few festivals this year.
Festivals, go.
I'm playing McMorry Festival, which is in 2 weeks. Or no, a week Sunday. And I'm at Bella this year as well.
Is that with Pale?
No, it's a depth gig.
Oh.
So I'm filling in with a band. The Craig Robertson Band. Playing drums for them.
Nice.
I was in Inverness last night rehearsing with them.
You were in Inverness last night, and then I've dragged you through here tonight.
Although I had to come up straight after anyway, because I had the dentist this morning. We're rambling again.
I know. This is what happens, though. Right, we need to cut. Exciting. I want to know about your exciting dentist trip. Right. There. Thanks for watching. Well, again, like, share, subscribe, show me some love. Get me to 40, for the love of God. I don't know why that number's bothering me. Oh, which one have you chosen? What is that?
That's what I did for this podcast.
You shaved your balls for this podcast. Nice. Right. Peace.